49er secondary. The Cardinals with the second-ranked passing attack in the NFC. Welcome to Candlestick Park, San Francisco, as the 49ers with a 1-9 record, playing host to the Cardinals, who come in here 2-8 for the year. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender along with Hank Stram. And there's turmoil in San Francisco. 2 weeks ago, they changed coaches, and today, Hank, they're changing quarterbacks.
Yes, it's always a bad sign, especially when you go into a season with the anticipation of having a good football team. You trade your number one quarterback, Plunkett. You make a declaration that Steve DeBerg is going to be your quarterback of the future, and then after 10 games, you decide that really he isn't the quarterback of the future. And now they're going to start Scott Bull. So it's very obvious that they are in a state of turmoil, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play.
You know, the Cardinals lost their first 8 games, but they didn't play like a team looking for the first win. They've won 2 in a row, and they think they can salvage the second half of the year.
And I really think they can, too, Gary. They played very well in the early stages of the season, even though they lost 8 consecutive games. But I think they're on the upswing. And I think in this game today, it's very obvious that they have an opportunity to win because of Jim Hart.
All right, we're ready to go. The 49ers, you can see, won the toss. They have elected to receive. And the man who's going to replace O.J. Simpson, who's out of the game because of a shoulder separation, Paul Hofer, number 36, brings it out. And the 49ers have the football at the 29-yard line. San Francisco last met the Cardinals in 1976 in Busch Stadium. And in that game, the Cardinals won it in overtime, 23-20 on a Jim Bakken field goal.
You know, Gary, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they run any option plays with Scott Bull at the quarterback position.
Here is Scott Bull. He's a third-year man from Arkansas. He's 6'5". He gives off to Bobby Farrell, and Farrell may have gotten a yard, and that's all, to the 30-yard line. And let's look now at that offensive forward wall. The best lineman they have is Keith Bonhorst, the right offensive tackle. They have 3 rookies, Hughes, Quillen, and Downing, starting in that forward wall. They've had a tough time providing some running room. Harrison, Solomon, and the number 1 draft pick, McAfee, are the receivers. And then, of course, we have Scott Bull along with Hofer and Bobby Farrell in the backfield.
Bobby Pollard made that tackle along with Steve Neal's number 53 and Bobby Pollard, number 82. They're sending in plays, which is something they didn't do with their other coaching staff.
Fred O'Connor, the new coach, taking over for Pete McCulley. And on a 2nd and 9, straight ahead. Power play by Greg Boykin. He's hit by Eric Williams. And the ball will be marked out across the 32 to the 33-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down, and still a long 5 to go. There's Pollard, the leading tackler. Dawson, the nose tackle, and John Zook, the veteran, on the right-hand side. Niels, Williams, Allerman, and Arneson, the 4 linebackers. As Gene Barth now indicating a penalty.
Number 82, defense, offside, second hand.
That's Bob Pollard that was offside, so it'll move the ball out to the 35-yard line and bring up a 2nd down now, and 4 yards to go. There's the secondary: Worley, Green, Stone, and Allen. We expect to see through the course of this game the 49ers running some option plays, as they feel Scott Bull is an excellent running quarterback. Boykin and Hope for the running backs. Here's Bull on the 2nd down. And he's out to the 38-yard line. He's about a yard short, it appears, of the 1st down. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Ken Green, the strong safety, over to make the stop for St. Louis.
They tried to run a play-action pass that time with the express purpose of hitting Kenny Harrison, 83, downfield, but Roger Worley, number 22, did a great job of covering him, and as a result, he had to run the ball instead of throw it, and now they come up with about a 3rd and 1.
It is very cold here for San Francisco this time of year. Temperature kickoff 50 degrees. It's been raining lightly. It's 3rd down, a yard to go. Freddie Solomon, the top of the screen, flanked out. Scott Bull, he gets off, and Hofer, very close. He's got the 1st down. Paul Hofer, coming in here, had only 82 yards rushing, but he's pressed into service due to the injury to O.J.
And it's very obvious that their game plan is going to be to run to the right, not so much because of the weakness of the left side of Bob Pollard, but because I think they feel very strongly about the blocking ability of Keith Farnworth, their right tackle, number 71, and their best offensive lineman.
So it's a 1st down. The ball at the 42-yard line for the 49ers. Scott Bull, he's going to bootleg it. 45, and Bull is close to the midfield stripe. He's going to be a couple of yards short of the 1st down. Mark Arneson making the stop, and Hank, we expect to see a lot of running by Scott Bull.
I'm going to tell you something, Gary. Ken Harrison, number 83, really threw a beautiful block on Eric Williams, the inside linebacker, and that's why the play was successful. A beautiful block by Kenny Harrison, number 83.
Second down 2 now for the 49ers. Farrell is checked back in with Ball. Hofer's the running backs. The 49ers this year offensively are 13th overall, 10th in rushing, 12th passing. Here comes Hofer again, and Hofer's got a first down. He's to the Cardinal 45-yard line. Even though the 49ers have won only one game, there's been 3 others they should have won, losing them in the late stages of the contest. Mark Arneson made the stop again for the Cardinals, and a first down at the St. Louis 45-yard line.
You know, neither team are a really great running team. St. Louis, for example, in the statistical area is 11 rushing, and San Francisco is 10 in total rushing, so there's not much to be decided there between the two teams from a rushing standpoint.
39-year-old Fred O'Connor, who 2 years previous to this was the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. On a first down, a give to Hofer. And Hofer's going nowhere because Ken Green came up, and boy, he just took the interference with him.
Yes, he did a great job, and that's the way you like to see people force on the run. If you're going to try to run outside, the guy that has to stop the outside run is the outside linebacker, of course, and the cornerback or the safety. That time he did a great job.
Denver defeating Cleveland, so Denver now 7-4 for the year. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down, 11. Hofer to the 40. And Hofer's going to be 5 yards short of the first down as we go to a third down. Ken Green, Steve Niels combining on the stop for the Cardinals. And Hofer, who's a slashing type runner, has 3 touchdowns, but just hasn't been used much this year.
But he's going to be used an awful lot from here on in. He's a very outstanding looking back, has good quickness and power. And let's see this time if they throw the ball, whether they try to match up Solomon on Carl Allen, number 27, the left corner. Let's see what they do.
And they're at the top of the screen. Solomon flanked out there, picked up by Allen. On a 3rd and 5. There's a little delay to Farrell. And Farrell has the first down. Bobby Farrell, that's kind of a misdirection type play.
Yes, it was a rollout action, and they ran a draw play, hoping that the defense would pursue. Watch it, he rolls out to his right, and Farrell goes to his right and then comes back against the grain. He does a great job of running here. He runs right into people. Watch this. And finally gets through there. Roger Worley, number 22, and Eric Williams, 55, finally make the tackle, but he makes the first down.
Houston defeating New England after trailing most of the game, and Miami having quite a battle with Buffalo. On a first down, Scott Bull being chased by Dawson. Glenn McAfee, the big tight end. McAfee, the former All-American from Notre Dame, and he has the ball at the 27-yard line. Mark Arneson dropped him. McAfee, a 250-pounder.
Well, this is a misdirection play. They fake to the right, and then Scott Bull rolls to his left. He runs away from Mike Dawson, 73, throws the ball right on target to Ken McAfee, and he makes a nice catch, and now it's about 2nd and 3.
That's what it is. There's Coach Bud Wilkinson, his club looking for their 3rd straight win after impressive wins over the Eagles and Giants. Kenny Harrison comes flanked out. Freddie Solomon to the top of the screen on the 2nd and 3. Scott Bull gives up, and Hofer has a first down. And San Francisco is eating up time with 8:25 and yardage at the same time as Kurt Allerman makes the tackle.
And that was nothing more than a straight-ahead shot with the left tackle, Ayers, 68, and the left guard, Ernie Hughes, doing a good job of blocking at the point of attack.
You can see right now that San Francisco's determined they're going to run the ball right at the Cardinals.
Yes, they must feel very strongly about that because they're really blowing them off the line of scrimmage, and that's what you have to do to move the ball as efficiently as they're doing it right now.
On a first down handoff up the middle, Steve Niels reacting to the play and making the stop. As again, they're just coming right at him. Paul Hofer carrying the football. And so now inside the 20 to the 18-yard line to bring up 2nd down, and still long 7 to go.
The thing that's happening right now is that the offensive line of the San Francisco 49ers are really controlling that line of scrimmage and knocking them off the line off the ball, and this is why they're doing a good job of moving the football on St. Louis in this early stage of the game.
from the 18-yard line. Scott Bull, little mix-up on that one. He's got an open touchdown. That's Kenny Harrison. Harrison wide open.
I thought that's who they'd pick on. They picked on Carl Allen, and that time Harrison ran into the post, got him turned, went back out to the flag. There's a flag on the play, however. We'll see what happens.
A Bull had Harrison wide open. The penalties against San Francisco, and it'll bring it back.
But he really ran a beautiful pattern, got Carl Allen turned in the end zone, and he was wide open on the outside, but it's all nullified, all in vain, because of a penalty on the part of the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, let's listen, see what Gene Barth has to say.
Personal foul, clipping, number 62.
That is Walt Downing, who, by the way, is the most penalized player on this team. He has really had a tough time this year, a lot of jumping off sides, and this time for the clip. And so the touchdown comes back, and the ball now at the 33-yard line. It's going to be second down now, and 22 yards to go. In motion comes Freddie Solomon. Scott Bull off to Bobby Farrell. And Farrell knocked out of bounds by Ken Green, and Green establishing himself early in this game. He's made a lot of stops in this first series.
Yes, he's a big, strong defensive back. And Hofer that time made a nice block on that run.
Boy, you know, Hank, there's 7:10 left. This has taken a lot of football time as the 49ers have taken the opening kickoff, and they still have possession.
They did a good job of play selection that last time, too. They didn't try to get it all back in one play. Very wisely ran the ball. And now they have a 3rd and 16 situation coming up.
So the ball is at the 27-yard line. No score. We're just underway. Here's Bull. Intended for McAfee. He was covered very well by Doug Green as the Cardinals had 5 defensive backs in on that play. We got a little pushing and shoving going on between Ernie Hughes down there and also Eric Williams. But no damage done, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. So that penalty certainly has hurt San Francisco.
And that could make a very big difference in the outcome of the game, too, because it takes away some of the momentum of the 49er team. Had they gone right in and scored, they'd have been very tough to contend with, especially early in the game. This could make a difference, especially if they miss this field goal.
This is a 45-yard attempt by Ray Wershing. He's hit 10 of 12 this year. Scott Bull to hold. 45-yard attempt by Wershing, and it is good. He just got over it. Just made it. A 45-yard field goal, and the 49ers are on the scoreboard. 7 minutes, 1 second left to go in the first quarter. San Francisco 3, St. Louis nothing.
You can tell by their style and flair. They're now. And you can tell by the way they're getting there. They're now. The Futura is now.
There's a distinctive personal car for now. The 79 Futura with tomorrow's look right now. Space efficiency for now. High mileage ratings that are now. And a sticker price that says, why wait?
The future isn't someday, it's now.
The Futura is now.
Fairmont Futura at your Ford dealers.
Now.
How about a winner for me?
New Schlitz Light.
There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light.
Gentlemen, here's to fast horses.
Schlitz Light and those who love them.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
So the San Francisco 49ers take a 3-0 lead on a 45-yard field goal by Ray Wershing. That was a drive, 44 yards, 16 plays. They used 7 minutes and 59 seconds of that clock. Gordon Bell and Will Harrell go back now as the twin safeties. That was a long drive, and I'm sure it gave Scott Bull some confidence in his first start.
And I like the way they operated in that first drive. They moved the pocket, they ran the ball well, and moved the pocket well, and that's the kind of pressure that puts a lot of burden on a defense.
And so a short kick, and Curtis Townsend, a second-year man from Arkansas, former San Diego Charger, runs it out. So they didn't want to evidently risk the return, but the Cardinals come away with excellent field position. Mike Balzassin up there making the stop for the 49ers. And from the 37-yard line, the Cardinals have the football for the first time. Be interesting to see now, the 49ers making some changes in that secondary if they go at that left cornerback spot. Vern Robertson is starting there in place of Anthony Leonard.
Well, I'm sure they're going to throw a lot today. They feel they can throw. I think the San Francisco is 14 against the pass in total statistics, so I'm sure they're going to give them a little business and try, especially the left corner, Vern Robertson, who is starting at that position.
Jim Otis, the all-time leading rusher for the Cardinals, got the ball out to the 40-yard line. We're to bring up second down 7. Archie Reese and Ed Bradley combine on the stop. This 49er forward wall with number 78 has a new look. He is a rookie out of Clemson, playing there in place of the injured Cleveland Elam. Eason Ranson starting at tight end. He's been slowed by a hamstring. Here comes Jim Otis again, and Otis out to the 47-yard line. Archie Reese making the stop. That's very close, and they got the first down. Bob Young threw a big block up front.
Jim Otis does that extremely well. It was a play right up the middle, and he reads the block of the guard in the center, and the middle linebacker makes any kind of a overcommitment to one side or the other. Jim runs so well with his eyes that he saw that opening and made the necessary yardage for the first down. Excellent run by Jim Otis.
So from the 47, a first down.
15.
Hart, his first pass to Mel Gray. And Gray lost his footing, but he picked up some yardage to the 45. That was Robertson, the guy we mentioned earlier, the second-year man who they picked up from the Miami Dolphins in that Delvin Williams trade.
Vern Robertson is playing very deep. He's almost as deep as the tunnel. And so you can expect them to throw an awful lot in front of him until they get him up where they want him, and then he'll go up on top. But they're going to throw a lot in front of this guy. I'm sure of that as the game progresses.
So it's second down, 2 yards to go. Here's a give to Otis. Nothing there this time. Excellent reaction by Joe Harris. We might indicate that that catch by Gray has now extended his consecutive streak of catching at least one pass a game to 70. Well, that's quite a feat for the outside wide receiver for the Cardinals.
Well, he's a remarkable receiver and has got everything that you look for in a receiver, and has really done a remarkable job for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Loss on that play. There's Mel Gray. And it's going to bring up third down now. Still 4 yards to go. That's Ransom, number 80, jumping into the tight end spot. Hart on the third down. It's got protection.
There he goes.
Mel Gray wide open. And Gray tried to make a move, but he ran out of playing field, and he has the first down to the 24.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't try to help Robertson that time with double coverage, but they made him cover single, and Mel Gray turned them around completely, ran an outside move, and Jim Hart put the ball right on the money. But you can see from your replay, the film, that Robertson was way inside and got turned and was in real trouble on that outside pattern.
Mel Gray now with 36 catches for the year. And from the 24-yard line, a first down. Pat Tilley to the bottom of the screen. Gray to the top.
It's starting to rain out here too, Gary.
It sure is. Here is Tilley, the intended receiver. Depending on the play is Robertson, so they're just coming right at him in this first series.
I don't think that Robertson has as much respect for 83, Pat Tilley, as he does for Mel Gray, and justifiably so, because Mel Gray has such great speed, and so they worry about that and give him a lot more room. As a result, I think they can throw in front. Here's a New Orleans Saints 17-3 against Atlanta, second quarter.
That's a lot of points against that Falcon defense.
Well, the way they blitz, why, you're going to get a lot of points if you guess right.
Second down and 10. The rain falling here at Candlestick Park. A gloomy, cloudy day. Oh, Blaine Morris goes nowhere. Nobody fooled on that play, in particular Cedric Hardman, who's having quite a year. You don't hear a lot about Hardman because the 49ers haven't been winning, but he has 8.5 sacks, and he's having quite a season.
He's a great player, and one thing that you have to worry about him, you just can't ignore him and run away from him. You got to run at him some just to keep him on the line of scrimmage. He loves to rush the passer, and if you're permitted to do that, he is really murdered.
Third down, 12 yards, make it 14 yards to go. Gray, Tilley, the wide receivers. Oh, the rain coming down pretty heavy now. Jim Hart got the protection he needs. Mel Gray defending on the play. was Bob Jerry. It looked like Gray stopped on that pattern, and they had a little mix-up on it.
Well, they had double coverage on him that time. They were hoping for single coverage, but on the snap of the ball, they double covered, which meant they had two defensive backs on Mel Gray, and as a result, he wisely threw the ball over the top, fell incomplete, and now it's 4th down, and I'm sure they're going to try a field goal.
All right, Jim Bakken will come in. He's 7 of 16. Bakken will be attempting a 45-yard field goal, the same distance that Ray Wershing converted successfully moments ago. Bakken's kick is on the way, and he got it. And that's almost the same type result that Ray Wershing had. Both of them just getting over.
Both of them almost crawl over the goalpost, and it doesn't make any difference as long as it goes over there. Score now 3-3.
So Jim Bakken hits a 45-yard field goal, and with 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in this first quarter of play, we're all tied up 3-3. The wind starting to pick up here, the rain starting to come down, and the playing conditions may deteriorate rapidly.
It could wind up being a very nasty afternoon out here at Candlestick, and with a combination of the wetness and the combination of the winds, why, it could create a lot of problems, especially for the passing game.
So we're all even. First quarter moving very quickly. First, a drive of 7 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay. Okay. This is Dave Williams.
Dave Williams, number. Okay.
How far was the Cardinal drive? Yeah, I know, but the drive, how far was it? Welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We're all tied up here, 3-3 with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go in this first quarter of play. The San Francisco 49ers in the red jerseys, as Mike Dawson put quite a hit on Paul Hofer. The first scoring was done by the 49ers. They took the opening kickoff, marched 44 yards, and then kicked a 45-yard field goal. Ray Wershing doing the honors. And just moments ago, the Cardinals in with their first offensive opportunity, marched the football down the field, and Jim Bakken kicked a 45-yard field goal. So that's how it stands right now, 3-3, with now just inside 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. I'm Gary Bender along with Hank Stram. Glad to have you on hand with us. It's raining at Candlestick Park, and the temperature around 50 degrees. As Scott Bull, who's getting his first starting call in 2 years. Third-year man from Arkansas is thrown for a loss. Back to the 36-yard line by Mike Dawson.
And you know, Gary, on that first drive, he looked very impressive. He ran the ball well as far as the utilization of his running backs. And then, of course, he did a good job with misdirection and play action and bootlegs and moved the ball down in good shape and had a 16-play drive and finally got 3 points.
And there you see the offensive picture for the 49ers. Hofer replacing O.J. Simpson, who's out with a shoulder separation. And this is Scott Bull. He's a very fine running quarterback. And in this early going, he's been running a lot of bootlegs, been rolling out. And at 6'5", 211 pounds, he's a tough man to bring down.
Yes, he is. And, of course, the big thing is he puts a lot of pressure on the defense because he's moving the pocket from side to side and making the defensive lineman guess as to where he's going to throw the ball from, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
So the ball at the 36-yard line. Scott Bull back. He's going deep. Freddie Solomon. And he dropped the football. Freddie Solomon wide open at the 24-yard line. He had beaten Carl Allen, the guy that they've been picking on here in the early going.
They've been picking on him short and in front, and now they throw on top. That was a blitz situation with both linebackers coming. Allen had to cover Solomon all the way, man for man. He threw the ball nicely into the post area. He should have had it. He did have it and just dropped it. He doesn't catch it in his hands. He catches it in his arms, and it rolled right out of there and incomplete. There you see it again, but he should have made that catch. It was a beautifully executed play.
Solomon, their leading receiver, 28, catches as Mike Connell attempting his kick, and he got it a little bit high. Didn't get the distance he wanted on it, and a fair catch by Harrell at the 32-yard line.
You know, Scott Bull impressed me that time with the automatic. He saw the blitz. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage, got the ball right on top just perfectly. Everything was exactly right except one thing. The receiver forgot to catch the ball. Freddie Solomon, incomplete.
That was a 32-yard kick by Mike Connell. We have a timeout. 2:07 to go in this first quarter. It's all tied up, 3-all.
When you say Budweiser, when you say Bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Introducing Hertz Takeoff Rates. Save up to 35% on the average weekday rental when you take off Thursday through Sunday for a minimum of 2 to 3 days. Take off in a subcompact for only $13.95 a day. Fairmont's $15.95. Granada $17.95. Thunderbird's $21.95 a day. All with no charge for mileage. There are some restrictions, so check with Hertz. Take off next weekend with Hertz low takeoff rates.
At Candlestick Park, we're going to pick up the action 3-3, and of course we welcome all our viewers watching that Washington-New York game. Washington winning in overtime 16-13, and there's the offensive picture. Roger Finney not starting because of that ankle injury that's plagued him all year long. In motion comes Wayne Morris. The line of scrimmage, the 32-yard line on a first down, complete to Eason Ransom. And Ransom, who started at tight end today in place of Al Chandler, makes the catch. And for Ransom, that's his 19th catch of the year. Joe Harris and Bob Jury combining. We should say, Hank, that while the viewers were watching another game, Mel Gray caught 2 passes. Now he's caught at least 1 pass in 70 straight games.
And he's going to catch a lot more passes as this game progresses. I'm sure they're going to continue to work on Vern Robertson, the young corner, number 49, who occupies the left side here. They can throw on him anytime they want to, especially on early downs.
Jim Hart gives off to Wayne Morris, and nothing develops because Archie Reese, number 78, a young man they're extremely high on, a rookie 5th-round draft pick from Clemson, coming up to make the stop. And so a loss back inside the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8 yards to go. There is Reese. He's joined by their most consistent player up front, Jimmy Webb. Cedric Hardman having another outstanding year. He leads in sacks with 8.5. Remember number 57, Danny Buns. You'll hear a lot of him as this game wears on. Their number 1 draft pick. And back deep, the man Hank mentioned, Robertson. They're picking on him in the left corner spot. He usually plays a safety spot. 3rd and 8. Wayne Morris. And Morris has a first down as he comes out across the 45-yard line, running away from number 55, Bruce Elia, who couldn't quite catch up with him.
They had a good match that time. They wanted Morris on Elia, number 55. And that's exactly the situation they got. Hart jumps out of the pocket a little bit, slides, I should say, out of the pocket, and hits Morris, who was wide open, 24, on Bruce Elia, 55, and he makes the first down.
They're just short of the midfield stripe. First down, the second possession of the game for the Cardinals. Their first one netted a field goal. Morris in motion. Hart. Hart to Gray. Broken up by Eddie Lewis. Eddie Lewis, 3rd-year man from Kansas, who's maybe the fastest player on this football team, got back there. That's the first time, Hank, they've gone to the other corner.
You know, and the other thing, Wayne Morris, who went in motion that time, there you see him trying to get the ball into the post, but Lewis plays it very nicely, number 22. But Wayne Morris, who went in motion to the right side that time, was one-on-one with Bob Jury, number 26, and he was really wide open, but Jim Hart never looked for him. He was looking to hit the receiver into the post, and as a result, it falls incomplete.
The Cardinals feel they can throw on the San Francisco team, which is ranked 11th in the NFC in pass defense. 2nd down and 10. Morris. And Wayne Morris just can't go anywhere. A flag on the play. They may have a tackling by face mask, and that's what it is. I think it was Archie Reese that reached in there and got the face mask of Wayne Morris.
That time is a great illustration of guessing wrong. They guessed wrong offensively. They had a blitz, and they tried to run into the blitz, and, of course, didn't succeed. There was a holding or a face.
Number 50 defense, face guard penalty, first down.
That's Gene Barth. His crew working today's game. The rain continues to fall at temperature kickoff time, 50 degrees. And the people here in the Bay Area can't believe this kind of weather. It's almost a record low. There's Barth and his very capable crew. Of course, Dean Look, the former All-American at Michigan State. From the 49, a first down after the penalty. Back to throw Hart. Pat Tilley. Tilley to the 25, to the 20, and he goes out of bounds. And Tilley, who got a game ball last week after catching 4 passes for 101 yards, just caught his 36th of the year.
He's impressive. He goes back into the pocket. You see Jim Otis setting up, waiting for the linebacker to come. He doesn't come. Hart looks to his left and hits Pat Tilley, 83, who makes a fine catch, runs away from the linebacker and the defensive back, and is finally knocked out of bounds by the defensive back, Chuck Chris, number 24. First and 10, St. Louis.
That was a 31-yard pickup to the 20-yard line, and the Cardinals are looking very effective on offense. This is Jim Otis, an end around reverse to Mel Gray. What a play by Bob Jury. Jury, who started the year with the Seattle Seahawks, a former standout at the University of Pittsburgh, saved what could have been a big gainer.
Yeah, everybody was going with the flow of the play, except Jury came across the line of scrimmage and really did a remarkable job of reading the play. Here he is. He takes an outside position, good leverage, and knocks Mel Gray off stride and prevents him from making a very big play.
And so the first quarter comes to a close. It's all tied up, 3-all.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans present An American Tragedy. Nothing is so useful as the car, but many Americans misuse it. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans are working to hold the cost of health care down. So stay fit. Walk when you don't need to drive. Together, we can keep the cost of health care from being driven even higher.
You sure didn't spend any time getting dressed.
Linda, tell him I'll be there in a minute.
Maybe he'd look better in Hager slacks. Or Hager sport coat and slacks. He could even afford a Hager vested suit. And that's a look I can't afford to pass up.
Oh,
Hi.
Susan?
Close enough. For me,
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Ready or not, here I come.
Introducing a whole new breed of Mustang. The all-new 79 Mustang from Ford. With a new aerodynamic design, precise handling, and Mustang performance from options of V6, V8, even a turbocharged engine. Mustang for 79, the new breed in 2-door and 3-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
With Hank Stram, I'm Gary Bender. We start the second quarter, and the Cardinals have a 2nd and 24 after that end-around reverse backfired. Bob Jury making a fine defensive play for the 49ers. Jim Hart thus far throwing the ball very effectively. He said he would come out throwing, and there's the stats. 5 of 8, 81 yards. His longest, 31 yards to Pat Tilley. 2 of those catches made by Mel Gray. On a 2nd and 24. Easton Ransom picked off by Chuck Christ. And Christ is out to the 32. He fumbles it. It's picked up by Eddie Lewis. And Lewis is breaking it out to the 40-yard line.
There's a flag down on the play, however. I don't know what it is, but it's on the far side of the field, Gary. We'll see what happens.
They had 5 defensive backs. It looked like Hart slipped, Hank, as he threw the football. His foot went out from under him a little bit. Ransom, the intended receiver. And then you saw what happened after that.
Chuck Christ, we had at New Orleans with us, is a very alert. See what happens.
We got a personal foul coming up against St. Louis.
But Chuck Christ is a very alert, intelligent football player. Reads the quarterback very well. That time Hart looked at the tight end right from the very beginning. He was open for a while, but by the time the ball was thrown, here's a
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 35, first down.
But by the time he got the ball there, Chuck Christ was there in time to make the interception. 1st and 10, San Francisco.
Bob Young forced that fumble, and then Jim Otis is called for the personal foul, and the ball's at the 25-yard line. That was the 3rd interception of the year for Chuck Christ. Here's Scott Bull on a bootleg, and he's hit by Steve Niels. Let's go back to that wild and woolly interception just a moment ago.
Hart's back in the pocket, and watch him. He's looking at the tight end right down the field. Chuck Christ is also watching Hart. Eason is open, but by the time the ball was thrown, Chuck Christ makes the interception, number 24, runs up the field. Watch it. He fumbles the ball as he's hit. Eddie Lewis picks it up, number 22, and almost went all the way. Had he been able to maintain his balance, he would have gone all the way.
2nd down and 8. Bull back to throws. Freddie Sullivan. I don't know what happened on that play. It looked like Allen had a shot at it. Then it looked like Solomon should have had it.
Well, the fact that the hands went up, I think, made Solomon lose his concentration. It was another rollout, play action pass, and he throws the ball right on the money.
He's dropped 2 of them today.
But Allen had a chance to make the interception, and I think Solomon was surprised by the fact that he didn't. And didn't concentrate on watching the ball into his hands, and as a result dropped it.
So Solomon now dropped one earlier in this game, wide open, and eventually they settled for the field goal, and now drops one in the end zone. 3rd down and 7.
Here's a blitz.
And you can see the rain that's been falling since we started this game is starting to affect the play as Bull loses yardage way outside the 30-yard line. Eric Williams came storming from that middle linebacking spot to force the play, and at the 33 now, it brings up a 4th down.
They had a double blitz coming, and they had the right play call. They were trying to get one-on-one, which they had. However, he slipped in the process of going back into the pocket, and of course lost yardage on the play.
So Ray Wershing, who earlier kicked a 45-yard field goal, is going to attempt a 51-yarder.
We can watch for something with Scott Bull holding the ball here. He might try to a fake field goal here. Let's see.
He's kicking with the wind to his back. Wershing's kick is going to be short. So Wershing attempting a 51-yarder, does not get it, and it's still a 3-3 football game.
He had to dip his foot in some Gatorade before that kick. He never would have made it from that distance.
3-3. We'll be back in a moment.
I may have a bar in my office, but Lawson has a Sony.
Darn. I thought they were going to give me a Sony.
Most people feel very special about Sony Trinitron Color TVs. Probably because Sony Trinitron Color TVs are very special. You see, it's not just a TV, it's a Sony.
Dad, I have a date coming over tonight. Can I borrow the Sony?
No doubt about it. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Well, it continues to rain here, and it's not getting any warmer. And as you saw a moment ago, the field getting a little bit slick. They're going to change the surface here. They call this candlestone instead of candlestick because the field is so hard. And next year, they're going to go to natural grass here in San Francisco.
Yeah, they kiddingly call it fuzzy cement.
So, after the missed field goal attempt, the Cardinals have the football, and Jim Otis trying to go wide. And Dan Buns has got him, and that's the guy we talked about earlier. They are so high on number 57. He was their second first-round draft pick. He's out of Long Beach State. He's 6'4", a 230-pounder. He's their leading tackler, and he'll be all over the field.
Yes, he's got terrific range, and of course the good size in conjunction with that really makes him a very unique middle linebacker because he's going to be a very good one.
You can see Coach Wilkinson trying to keep dry, and it's going to be difficult to do because of wind. And Fred O'Connor, this is his second game as the head coach of the 49ers. Give to Otis again. Otis breaks it outside to the 40, and he's just about a yard short of the first down. Chuck Christ, who last year was the MVP defensively for your New Orleans Saints team.
Yes, he's a very outstanding player. He really is, and I think the San Francisco 49ers were very lucky and did a good job in that trade market to get Chuck with his football team, because he's an outstanding leader along with being a very good football player.
So they're just short. It's third down. Look at this. Green Bay, Dallas. Neither one of those teams can afford to lose that game.
No, it's a must game for both people. And let's see if Hart tries something on 3rd and 1. Usually during the course of the game, you're in a 3rd and 1 situation about 3 times in a game.
Here we go with Otis, and he got it. It's a good man to have in a short yardage situation. Jim always reads the hole well.
None better than Jim Otis, because he really somehow, some way, always finds a way to make that yardage, especially on a 1-yard situation.
He, of course, now the all-time leading rusher in Cardinal history, and he's glad to have that pressure behind him. Got the mark last week in that win against New York. And now out across the 36.5-yard line, a first down. Checking that offensive line, Bob Young is still in there. They're watching him very closely. He's having trouble with the hamstring. Portman did start in place of Roger Finney. Here's Jim Otis. And Dan Buns is there, number 57. It's been a good draft for the 49ers. There's been all kinds of turmoil out here, coaching changes, today a quarterbacking change. But one thing you can say, they did have a good draft. They're starting 3 offensive linemen, a tight end, a middle linebacker.
Well, let's face it, Gary, you know, it takes a lot of courage to stand by your convictions. Very obvious that Joe Thomas feels strongly about these young people, and he feels they're going to take their lumps, but eventually they're going to be good players, and that's what happened every place he's been.
Second down and 10 yards to go. Hart. Now Gray Christ again. Christ, his second interception of the day. Chuck Christ now with 4 interceptions for the year, as the 49ers have it with good field position at their own 48-yard line.
That time they were again trying to lift the left corner. Chuck Christ watched him all the way, watched his eyes, and you see what happens. He intercepts this pass again. Big play, Chuck Christ.
Spot, can't you act like a dog?
There's so much clear information in the yellow pages, you'll never be confused.
Canine care.
You'll even find specialists who make house calls for almost any situation.
You're not a kitty, you're a dog. Say,
When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System yellow pages.
Americans have always had a love affair with the automobile, and of the more than 2,500 different cars introduced, one was the best-selling ever. This one, Ford Fairmont.
Presenting Fairmont 79, designed for a changing world, with lots of room for the money. A great EPA mileage estimate for today's driving, and a range of sticker prices that are surprisingly low. America has made Fairmont the best-selling new car ever introduced. Sedans, wagons, and the exciting Futura at your local Ford dealer.
Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents the Series Championship of Women's Tennis. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, Chuck Christ is really causing some problems for the Cardinals. He's picked off 2 passes, and the latest one sets the ball up at the 48-yard line. San Francisco 3, St. Louis 3. Kenny Harrison and Freddie Solomon, the wide receivers. Scott Ball gives off to Hofer, and Hofer's not going to go anywhere. Good reaction that time by Bob Pollard, and also Eric Williams slanting over there.
You know, that time they double covered both outside receivers, which means that 2 defensive backs cover the 2 outside corners, and the safety, 4 people cover 2. And as a result, the middle is wide open. Had they been able to clear that run, the passageway would have been very good for a big gain right at the middle because of the way the coverage was.
Some changes now. Greg Boykin, number 33, replaces Bobby Farrell at fullback. Gain of 1 on that last play. It'll be 2nd down and 9. This time Solomon to the bottom of the screen. Harrison to the top. Scott Bull gives out to Hofer. And Hofer, playing in the place of the injured O.J. Simpson, is into the Cardinal end of the field, and his progress just inside the 47-yard line, where it's third down and still 4 yards to go. Tim Carney made the tackle on that play.
And there was a blitz on the play that time, and they ran inside of the blitz and were very fortunate to get as much yardage on the play as they did. They're very obvious, too, that St. Louis is concerned about protecting Carl Allen. They're using more double coverage on his side to keep him from covering 1-for-1.
The Colts leading the Seahawks, as you see it, 10-7. We'll keep you posted on all the action and what's happened back east in the National Football League. Here's Bull back to throw. Solomon, and he is hit by Carl Allen.
That time they didn't double cover. He had one-on-one, and as a result, he was wide open in front of Carl Allen.
The crowd is cheering here because Solomon has dropped a couple of passes previous to this reception.
But he's wide open. Carl Allen is very concerned about the deep coverage and permits Solomon to get in front and pick up the necessary yardage for the first down. There's the hit. Carl Allen on Freddie Solomon, number 88, Carl Allen, 27.
First down at the 39 of St. Louis. Bobby fell, and fell inside the 35. Now, for the viewers who weren't with us early part of this game, this is exactly what San Francisco did on the first series. They ran right at St. Louis and held the football for almost 8 minutes.
Yes, and they threw some very outstanding possession-style passes with play action and misdirection, and had a beautiful 16-play drive. Here's Minnesota, 17-14, Chicago Bears. That's 8 in a row for Chicago.
Minnesota staying on the heels of the Packers in that NFC Central Division. Second down 5, and I believe they got to get another ball in. That one's too wet. Continuing to rain. And it is cold. You wouldn't expect this kind of weather this time of year out in the Bay Area, but here it is. So Scott Bull will have a second down 5. 8 minutes, 55 seconds to go before halftime.
Kenny Harrison.
Here's Bull wanting to run. Boy, he got hit there. What a collision with Steve Niels just about the 30-yard line. But Scott Bull, he doesn't have to back off when you're 6'5" and 211 pounds.
Here's another fake draw, roll-up play. And it really doesn't look like he had any intention of throwing the football at all. He was decided to run right after he made the fake. And he's just short. Watch the hit there by Steve Niels, 53. And I think he broke his helmet.
Some collision. That's what they're going to have. You see Scott Bull, an official's timeout while they have equipment repair. Not too many quarterbacks have that happen to him. As he comes off, this young man, you can see where they're pointing just above the left ear hole is where the helmet has been cracked. Bull has rushed the ball 4 times for 16 yards. Here's a guy that was actually put on waivers at the start of the year. Then they got rid of Jim Plunkett. He stayed around, waited for his opportunity. He's getting it today, and he's trying to make the most of it. There's a timeout.
It was a long, hard run, but I finally won. Now it's all behind. Got blue ribbon on my mind. I've got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind. More and more lately I find
The premium taste of Pabst. It's a lot to look forward to.
I've got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind.
This is the new Sonar one-step camera from Polaroid. It sends out inaudible sound waves that bounce off the subject and return in a split second. The lens automatically rotates to precise focus, like this. And this.
I caught a fish!
Look at all the court! If I had to focus, I would have missed that picture. Sharp, instant pictures in minutes. This close, this far, this quick. Polaroid's new one-step's the world's simplest cameras.
So the 49ers have a third down, a yard to go. As Scott Bull has the helmet repaired, he's ready to go. On third down conversions, the 49ers are 3 of 6 thus far. Scott Bull gives off, and I don't know. Hofer trying to get the first down, and it's going to be very close. to see where they mark it. He didn't get it.
I don't think he made that, and that was an unusual call to take the ball all the way across the formation on a short yardage situation. It's a long way to go to try to make a yard, and they didn't succeed in getting it done.
Well, they're going to go for it. It's 4th down as Paul Seal comes in. They'll have 2 tight ends, Seal and McAfee. They need to make it to the 29-yard line, so they've actually got still a yard to go. In fact, it's a long yard. 4th down. And he's going to bootleg it, and he's going to get it. Boy, is he strong. Scott Bull runs like a fullback.
Yes, he does, and he's got good. You know, the great thing about him is, for as tall as he is, he's got good body lean. He fakes inside, rolls out to his left. They take the bait inside, but watch, he runs to the outside. Watch the lean. He drops his shoulders, protects the ball very well, and finally spun away from the traffic and made the yardage. A beautiful rush by Scott Bull.
So the ball is just short of the 25, a 1st down. Scott Bull in place of Steve DeBerg, who'd thrown 20 interceptions and started all the other games.
They can throw in front of Allen anytime they want to.
There they do. Kenny Harrison, you called it, Coach, as they threw right in front of Allen, but a connection was not made.
That time, that kind of a pass, anytime that you throw the ball inside, it's really important that you throw the ball right at the numbers, because if it is deflected, there's no chance to get it intercepted if you hit the numbers. If you hit it high like he did that time, it slid right on through, and there's always a chance that the guy behind him could make the interception.
And that ball is a little wet now. It causes even more problems. 2nd down, 10. Harrison is back in now. Harrison, Solomon, the wide receivers. Looks like the Cardinals jumped offside. Here's Hofer. Hofer got a yard or two. Let's see if they were drawn off or they, in fact, came across on their own. They did. Offside against St. Louis. Mike Dawson looked like the first guilty party, and then others followed suit.
Yeah, and they had a blitz on that time. They try to anticipate the count. That's why it's so important for a quarterback to make sure that he changes the count and the rhythm as the game progresses, so that the defense can't get geared.
Defense, offside, 2nd down.
So that the defense can get in tune with what the quarterback rhythm really is, and that's what happened on that play.
And Hank, as I recall, they say they have worked on a different cadence all week, the 49ers.
Yeah, you got to do that to keep them off balance. If you're not careful, you wind up going on 2 all the time.
And so Scott Bull, a new quarterback, a new cadence, and some problems. Here's a delay to Bobby Farrell. Farrell to the 15, to the 10, and he's got a 1st and goal there. Bobby Farrell was clotheslined by Roger Worley as this former UCLA standout found a hole, and he took advantage of it.
That was another well-conceived play. It was a rollout. Scott Bull has rolled out so much so far in this game that he rolled out to his right like he was going to throw. Bobby Farrell went to the right like he was going to block, and then came back against the grain. There's Steve Neal's missing. There you see Green missing, and he's finally knocked down by Roger Worley, but he's in good position. 1st and 10.
Farrell now with 28 yards on 5 carries. Again to Hofer, and Hofer is close to the 5-yard line. Tim Carney making the stop, and Hofer really came off the ball that time.
He came off the ball well, and so did the entire left side of the line. John Ayers, Ernie Hughes, Fred Quill in the center, all of whom did a good job of getting movement, and that's what you have to do if you're going to succeed on that kind of a simple handoff.
That offensive line, Downing, Hughes, and Quillen are all rookies. Hughes, 3rd-round pick, Downing, a 2nd-round pick, and Quillen, the center, was a 7th-round draft choice. 2nd down, just outside the 5. Scott Bull. Steve Neal's is up there. He wanted to throw to Solomon. Solomon could not clear. And so then Neal's came up, had support from Tim Carney, and now they have a 3rd down, and the ball is back at the 9-yard line.
They wanted to work on Carl Allen, but there, you know, he has an ally there with the end zone line for protection, and as a result, was able to play the ball well. He had no other choice but to try to run it, and he was tackled there very nicely by Steve Neal's.
Big play coming up for the 49ers. It's all tied up 3-all. They have a 3rd down at the 9-yard line. Sullivan, Harrison, the wide receiver.
319.
Ball's hit by Dawson. Mike Dawson Dawson came through, and that's a big sack.
Watch Dawson, 73. He gets through there in good shape. Looked like a screen. He got through there so cleanly. And Fred Quillen, the offensive center, 56, just missed the block. That's all it is. And here again, it's tough when you go back into the pocket and everybody knows you're going to throw the football. I'm surprised he didn't move the pocket that time and avoid that kind of a rush.
39-yard field goal attempt by Ray Wershing. He's 1 of 2 thus far. He's kicked a 45-yarder. He's missed a 51-yarder. Scott Bull to hold. Wershing's kick, and it's wide left. Wershing does not get it. And so Wershing has missed his last 2 opportunities. And with 4:35 to go before half, it's still tied up 3-all.
I'm Merlin, the electronic wizard, challenging you to 6 computer games. Start with simple tic-tac-toe. Your turn, my turn. I'll tell you if you win and when you lose. Play all kinds of games. Echo, Blackjack 13, Magic Square, or formidable Mind Bender, or make beautiful music together. Merlin, the electronic wizard from Parker Brothers.
Introducing a new American road car. The all-new Ford LTD for $79, with more front seat room, more rear seat room, more window area, and more handling ease than last year's LTD. Plus the power of a V8 engine standard. A road car to take you across town or across the country.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
To test drive the all-new LTD on your own roads, see your Ford dealer today.
Next Sunday on CBS Sports, see NFL doubleheader action. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Here at Candlestick Park, as you can see, it is wet, it's cold, the wind blowing and swirling around here. 2 very friendly people. I think they're in love. The 21-yard line now after that missed 39-yard field goal attempt. The Cardinals have it. Wayne Morris in motion. And it's going to be Morris with a pass. The ball thrown a little too tall and too hard to the far side.
Well, what happened on the play, Archie Reese, number 78, got penetration, deflected the ball, went right over the top of the outstretched arms of Wayne Morris, number 24, and of course it fell incomplete.
That's the guy that they're high on, Archie Reese, as Hank mentioned, reaching across and getting a hand on it. San Diego leading Kansas City 6-3. And New Orleans, they were leading earlier in that game. What was it, 17-7? Now it's 17-13. On a 2nd and 10, Wayne Morris got some running room. 30, 35, 40, and Morris all the way out across the 45 to the 48-yard line. A burst of speed, a first down. Chuck Christ eventually ran him out.
You know, they've talked a lot about the fact that they haven't been able to really get outside very well, but Morris really does a good job on this play. Obviously, good run blocking at the point of attack. He runs through a tackler there, jumps to the outside. Good blocking there by Mel Gray downfield, number 85, and he finally knocked out of bounds by number 24, Chuck Christ.
That was a 27-yard run by Wayne Morris. On first down, Hart to throw. He's got his man, Pat Tilley. And Tilley with his 2nd catch of the day, and that's another first down, and the Cardinals are moving. They have the ball now at the 33-yard line of San Francisco. Ed Gallagher came storming through and really put some pressure on Hart, but he was on the button with the pass.
Yes, he was. Gallagher does provide good pressure. You see him coming inside here, but Hart stays right in, keeps his feet in the fire, and gets rid of the ball nicely, right on target to Pat Tilley, 83, and it's a 1st and 10.
Hank, that's that quick release that Hart has.
Yes.
First down from the 33, Jim Otis. And Jim's not going to quite make it to the 30-yard line. Ed Bradley made sure of that, along with Joe Harris, the outside linebackers. And so, a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go at the 31.
And Robertson, number 49, continues to play Mel Gray very soft, and it looks like he could play catch over in that outside area. the way he's playing at this stage of the game.
Dallas, after trailing 7-0, now has taken the lead 14-7. That's in Milwaukee. 2nd and 8. Al Chandler, number 87, now in at tight end. Hart to Gray. And Eddie Lewis, the closest. Wet here now.
But you want, but Gray was wide open. You see, he runs a hook in front of Eddie Lewis, but the ball's thrown over the top. But on a day like this, you want to throw the ball because the offense has the advantage.
So on a 3rd and 8. 5 defensive backs are in. Hart gets rid of it. Tilley makes quite a catch, and he's got a first down, and Hart really took a shot that time as he released the football, and Tilley with a fine catch, and that's a first down.
That time they were in man-for-man coverage. 49 Robertson had to cover Tilley all the way across the field. They got the one-on-one situation they wanted. Here he is. You see Hart staying in the pocket nicely. There you see Tilley coming across the field. Robertson, 49, pursuing, but too late. And Gray was open on the play too behind Eddie Lewis. Both of them were open. See if they throw again on first down. They can throw anytime they want to.
From the 20, a first down. Hart to Otis. Otis outside to the 15. A gain of 5. He's 2nd and 5. To go back to that previous play, Pat Tilley catches everything that's thrown in his direction. They talk about him not having a great speed, but every time the ball arrives in his area, you can depend on Pat Tilley.
And that's the important thing. You have to be able to catch the ball first, even though you don't have great speed, and that's what he's doing. It's just so very important.
The 2-minute warning is here. We'll be back in just a moment.
RCA announces a major improvement in video cassette recording. Introducing SelectaVision 400. Set it today, and for the next 7 days, the 400 remembers the shows you want recorded. It'll turn itself on and off up to 4 times, even change channels. SelectaVision 400, the 4-hour video cassette recorder with the 7-day memory.
Let RCA turn your television into SelectaVision.
You must be ready for a beer.
I'm ready for a new Schlitz Light.
There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light.
We climbed it because it was there.
And we came back down because this was here.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
The 2-minute warning has just been executed. The Cardinals have the football. 2nd down, a long 4 to go. Just outside the 15-yard line. And at halftime, we'll join the NFL today as Brent, Jane, and Irv will update us on that overtime game. Washington pulling out a big one against the New York Giants. We'll be checking in on that one. And right now, the Cardinals would like to take a lead into the dressing room. Al Chandler, the tight end, moves into the right side.
Mel Gray's got a one-on-one on. Oh, a good shot on the outside.
That's Al Chandler, and Chandler's in for the touchdown. Al Chandler with his 2nd touchdown catch in as many games. He caught a 5-yarder last week for a touchdown, and he takes this one in, and he just ran over Vern Robertson.
What happened on the play, they used the shift of the tight end. The tight end went to the right and made Chuck Chris play strong safety instead of weak safety. You see he's way off of the tight end, number 87, Al Chandler, and he goes in for the touchdown. Missed the tackle, going for the touchdown. They now are going to try the extra point. It should put it,
and some problems. Roger Worley can't salvage that play. And so that could be a big point after before this game is over, as the Cardinals now have a lead of 9-3.
You can tell by their style and flair, they're now. And you can tell by the way they're getting there, they're now. The Futura is now.
There's a distinctive personal car for now, the 79 Futura, with tomorrow's look right now, space efficiency for now, high mileage ratings that are now, and a sticker price that says, why wait?
The future isn't someday, it's now.
The Futura is now.
Fairmont Futura, at your Ford dealers.
Now.
for me.
New Schlitz Light. There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light.
Gentlemen, here's to fast horses.
Schlitz Light and those who love them.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
And there's the juice. O.J. Simpson. You can see he has his right shoulder in a sling. He has a shoulder separation. I think they call it a third-degree separation. And he may be out for the remainder of the year.
There's a possibility, a slight possibility, Gary, that he might be back before the conclusion of the season, but a very slight one.
So a 15-yard touchdown pass from Hart to Chandler. Mike Wood kicking off. The Cardinals with a 9-3 lead. And here comes Paul Hofer. And Hofer is hit first by Chandler, and a flag on the play as he gets to about the 30-yard line.
Chandler hit him high and bounced right off. There's a flag on the play, but Chandler was way too high when he made contact, and as a result had no leverage and didn't knock him down.
You can see a clip coming up against the San Francisco 49ers. So Jim Hart just a moment ago tossing a touchdown pass, which is his 8th of the year. The Cardinals coming in here with a second-rated passing offense in the NFC. Boy, looking ahead, we've got some good football coming up.
Personal foul, clipping on the run back, number 68. First down.
68 is John Ayers, but next week it's doubleheader action on CBS. Regional games, Philadelphia, New York. The Cardinals will go against Washington, trying to end a 5-game losing streak. And then most cities will receive more NFL action. Green Bay, Denver, Detroit, Oakland, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Be sure now to consult your local listing. After the penalty from the 15-yard line, the 49ers tried to salvage something here with 1:39 left in the first half of play.
Mike Dawson that time, number 73, the man on the nose, made good penetration along with Jim Kearney, and they made about a yard on the play.
You know, we've, I think, done, what, 3 Cardinal telecasts, and each game Dawson's played well. He made a big sack earlier in this game, and he's played well at that nose tackle spot.
Yeah, they talked about his being tough to make that adjustment, but boy, he's been very impressive in the 3 games that we've seen him play.
Now we have a timeout. The Cardinals evidently feeling they're going to get another shot at the football. Using their first timeout, as Scott Bull, number 19, will trot to the near sideline. And Fred O'Connor is the guy now that's given the chore trying to turn this football situation around. 60 minutes coming up tonight on CBS. If you're a collector of anything, see 60 Minutes tonight. That's at 7, 6 o'clock Central and Mountain Time. And then David Jansen heads an all-star cast in the premiere of Irving Wallace's The Word. Dallas follows the movie. And tonight the Ewing women are staggered by reports that Bobby and Junior are missing in a plane crash. 60 Minutes, The Word, and Dallas all tonight on CBS. You can see the crowd very sparse here, and they're huddled together trying to survive this afternoon. And these people out here, they're just not used to 50-degree temperatures this time of the year.
No, it's very obvious that they're concerned about the weather condition, plus the fact that I think any time that your team has lost as many games as the 49ers have lost so far this season, why, there's bound to be a drop-off in attendance, and that's exactly what's happened here today.
They had 10,000 no-shows at the last game. So with 1:12 left, the 49ers have a 2nd down and 9 from their own 16-yard line. The Cardinals using the timeout. They're trying as best they can to get the football back. And again, NFL today at halftime, so stay with us.
One thing the 49ers have to be careful of, that they don't make a bad mistake here and provide St. Louis with good field position to go in and get another touchdown or a field goal before the half.
Harrison and Solomon, the wide receivers. Scott Bull's going to throw. He's got Solomon down here. That is twice that Solomon has had the ball in his midst and dropped it.
It's amazing. He's dropped 3 balls. There were big plays in this game so far. And that time, as soft as they were playing, but in spite of the fact he was playing soft, he ran right by Carl Allen, number 27. They continue to pick on him inside, outside, and deep. He runs by him here. Allen's got him step for step, and then he starts to run by him. The ball goes right over the top, right into his arms, and right on through for a basket.
Looked like Allen laid back trying to intercept, and then he misjudged the football.
That's right. He misjudged the flight of the ball.
3rd down and 9, and the Cardinals are going to get the football as at the 18-yard line is a forward progress. And the Cardinals, I think, will use another timeout, and will. They've used their second, so they have 1 left, and there's still 57 seconds, a chance at a return, and maybe close enough for a field goal.
Mike Dawson again got penetration and licked the offensive center, Fred Quillen, number 56, and was able to make that play.
Tomorrow night, MASH airs 1 hour earlier than usual at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central and Mountain Time, followed by One Day at a Time. And then stay tuned for one of the season's major dramatic events, Irving Wallace's powerful bestseller, The Word, starring David Jansen, James Whitmore, and Florinda Bolkin. The Word, Part 1 begins tonight, Part 2 tomorrow night, following MASH and One Day at a Time. Mike Connell will go back and kick. He's averaging 37.3. He's 12th in the NFC. Willard Harrell is back as a single safety for the Cardinals. 57 seconds left before halftime. Connell hits a beauty. He really got into that one. Harrell almost lost that football. Dave Williams was down there and almost alertly came up with it.
Yes, he did, and it was a power kick. He really got a good foot into that ball. That didn't spiral. He just powered the ball, and along with the help of the wind, got it downfield in good shape, and it was tough to handle the way it came down.
Dave Williams, former University of Colorado quarterback, plays running back, and I understand we might see him at wide receiver before the day's over. There's your time remaining in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. The Cardinals from the 35-yard line. 1st down.
It was a 47-yard punt.
And as you said, he just drilled it out of there. Here's Hart. Pat Tilley. Tilley could not get there. Robertson defending on the play, and number 49 is being tested today.
Robertson's going to get a lot of experience before the afternoon is over with. He's already gotten a lot of it, but he'll get a lot more.
The CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday. The Ontario Speedway will be the setting for the highlights from the NHRA World Finals, the culminating event of the 44 drag race racing season. That's next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, the CBS Sports Spectacular. On a 2nd and 10. And Tilley, that looks like the same play, Hank, they were trying to get earlier.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. They continue to throw in front of Robertson, number 49. And he continues to give him a lot of room, and justifiably so right here before the half. He doesn't want to have a big play, but he's played that way most of the day, and anytime you want to throw in front of him, you can, which is very obvious.
And so, after the 48-yard line, it's a 1st down with 37 seconds left. The Cardinals are still trying to get on the board again. The world's strongest men, it's a wrist roll. It's the 7th event. 100-pound weight. They're going to try to lift it 100, I should say, 10 feet off the ground. Here is Hart, back to throw again. And Eason Ransom, the tight end, had fallen down, the intended receiver at the 40-yard line, and Chuck Christ was with him, though.
Yes, that time they had 5 defensive backs in the game, and he slipped as he tried to run a hook, but luckily the ball was thrown over the top because Chuck Christ, number 24, was right there with him and had a chance to make a play on the ball had it been thrown properly.
So 2nd down 10. Are you a poker man? Next Saturday, the Hold'em final. That's poker on the Sports Bet. Next Saturday, 4:30. Got all the great poker men showing up for that event. Hart back again. Pat Tilley. Little too tall. Bob Jury had a crack at the interception, and it's going to be a 3rd and 10. And the time, 26 seconds. The Cardinals still with 1 timeout remaining. This game started out with the 49ers driving. They kicked a field goal. The Cardinals got the football for the first time. They matched it with a 45-yard field goal. And that's the way it stood until 1:53 remained in this first half when Hart hit Chandler with a 15-yard touchdown strike.
Jim Hart so far has thrown 19 times, completed 9 for 136 yards, 2 interceptions and a touchdown.
And both those interceptions by Chuck Christ. And the Cardinals have missed that point after, which could be a big one. It's 9-3. Here's Wayne Morris. Morris has the first down across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Wayne Morris with a couple of big bursts. He had a 27-yard run earlier in the day. Bob Jury making the stop. And at the 39, 18 seconds now left in this first half. Steve Jones threw a big block on that last play as a timeout has been called. Cardinals using their last timeout. As Robertson comes off the field, they've taken him out of there as somehow the Cardinals are trying to pick this one up, get something on the board. Next Saturday, CBS brings you the Series Championship of Women's Tennis, and all the big names are going to be there. Chris Evert will defend her title. Former Wimbledon champion Virginia Wade. This year's Wimbledon champ Martina Navratilova and others. Next Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, the Series Championship of Women's Tennis. There's Jim Hart, Bud Wilkinson, Jim Hannafin. What do you do in a situation like this, Hank? You got 18 seconds, no timeouts left.
Well, you want to get the ball downfield the best you can, so at least you can get in a position to kick a field goal. Without any timeouts left, you've got to call a couple of plays in the huddle with the anticipation of not wasting any time, stopping the clock if you do make a reception close enough where you can stop the clock and at least kick the field goal.
5 defensive backs and 2 linebackers are in now for the 49ers. Hart to Gray. He's got it, and he's out of bounds, stopping the clock with 13 seconds. Walter Mons, boy, that was a beautifully thrown football.
That was double coverage that time, and he threw between the short man and the deep man, Eddie Lewis. They had 5 defensive backs, and the deep man, Eddie Lewis, was very slow coming over to protect the outside area. As a result, Jim Hart saw it. There you see him. He's slow coming over, and Mel Gray makes the catch. Big play and a great executed play by the St. Louis Cardinals.
So they're going to try one more play, and then they'll try to get the field goal kicker in.
Yes, they'll try to get this one into the end zone, I'm sure. They got a bump and run on this left side. They've got a chance to make a big play on the left side. See if he takes advantage of it.
From the 13-yard line, Hart, Eason Ransom. Bob Jury gave him a pretty good shot. So now Jim Bakken will come in with 7 seconds to attempt the field goal. Well, they moved that football in a hurry.
Yes, they did, and I'm surprised that Jim didn't go on top that time because both receivers had bump and run, which meant it was man for man all the way, and it looked like Tilley had a step on this right side on Eddie Lewis, but of course Eason was wide open too, just dropped the football.
Bakken, who's kicked a 45-yarder in the first quarter, will now attempt a 30-yard field goal. Bad snap again. That's twice it's happened. Once on the point after. Bakken getting back, scutting on the football, and that's going to wind down this first half. There's no time remaining. And so the score at halftime at Candlestick Park, the St. Louis Cardinals leading the San Francisco 49ers 9-3. Stay with us. The NFL Today coming your way.
Hey.
I'm tough and I'm tested. That's why by Ford I was requested to come up here to tell you how Motorcraft auto parts from Ford were tested tough in Alaska. Motorcraft tune-up kits with spark plugs were tested in 50 cars and trucks from Ford, GM, and Chrysler. After 6 months, only one spark plug couldn't take it. One! Motorcraft tune-up kits, they have the stuff. Motorcraft parts are tested tough.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Come fly with me in one magnificent flying machine, the 79 Thunderbird.
I love its luxurious cockpit.
Fly with a V8 engine. Power steering and power brakes, all standard. Glide in great style with wrap-over roof and opera windows at a down-to-earth sticker price. 79 Thunderbird. What a way to fly at your Ford dealers.
1978 U.S. Open Finals. Defending champion Chris Evert is taken to the limit by 15-year-old Pam Shriver. CBS Sports. Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents the Series Championship of Women's Tennis. Chris Evert is scheduled to defend her crown against Wimbledon champion Martina Navratilova and other top women professionals. From first serve to match point, you'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Let me show you what happened down in the Superdome just moments ago. The game was all wrapped up. It was 17-13. New Orleans had a lead. Atlanta had an opportunity for one last desperation play. Bartkowski went back, threw it deep. All the defensive backs were back there, deflected up in the air. Jackson runs underneath it for an Atlanta touchdown. Now, folks, the key here is don't hurt Jackson afterwards. Be very careful. And down he goes. Suddenly, Atlanta can move to within a game of Los Angeles in the NFC West if the Steelers beat the Rams. Right now, the big doubleheader game in County Stadium in Milwaukee. It's the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. What does Bart Starr order up? Right off the start of the game, after he wins the coin flip, the onside kick. And look at the Cowboys. They retreat into the end zone. Chester Markle flumps on it. And then, a short time later, it was a Packer touchdown. Barty Smith barging it 7-0. Upset, hold on. Here they come as the Greek predicts. Robert Newhouse, 14 yards. A Dallas touchdown tied it. Tony Dorsett goes left, 9 yards. Dallas touchdown, 14-7. Raphael Septien warming up on the sideline into his own lean-to. Now it's Roger Staubach pulling out. Looking to Billy Joe Dupree, who fumbled last week in the Orange Bowl, but not here, and it's 21-7 right now. We also had an overtime game in the NFC this afternoon. The New York Giants appeared to have beaten the Washington Redskins when the defense forced this fumble right here from Joe Theismann. Watch Troy Archer scoop up the loose ball, zip into the end zone, 13-6. Theismann's got just a minute to work with, and back he comes. Going to his tight end off a quick count, Gene Fugit, down to the Giant 23-yard line. Then, with seconds left, it was Mike Thomas getting the call. He tied the score, 13 all, and they go into overtime. Washington wins the coin flip. They receive. Back comes Joe Theismann. Runs out of the pot. Watch what happens on the sideline. Look what's going to happen to the line judge. Right there, but he's okay. He wasn't seriously hurt. They make him tough, those Zebras, Herb. Now back comes Theismann again, looking for Fugit over the middle. He's got him right down to the 17. First down, and Pardee says, let's kick a field goal and get out of here. Booted by Mosley, but it's no good. The Giants have got a chance now to come back. Can't say that on a family station there, Mark. All right, here we are. Giants can't do a thing. 2nd and 11. Can't move against the skin defense. So Washington gets the ball back after a Jennings punt. And this time, Theismann says, I'll take what you can give me. And underneath to McDaniel, who picks up added yards. And Mosley gets an opportunity that all of us wish we could have. A second chance, and he makes it good. And in overtime, the Washington Redskins beat the Giants 16-13. Detroit, their record now 4-7 as they shoot down Tampa Bay 34-23. Denver climbs to 7-4 by beating Cleveland 19-7. The upset of the day, Houston rallies 26-23. Look out for the Oilers. They're now 7-4. The Patriots slipped to 8-3. Dolphins are now tied with them as the Dolphins down Buffalo 25-24. And the New York Jets a loser to Philadelphia. 6-5 for the Eagles now. 17-9 the final there. 20-17. You saw the conclusion of that wild game down in the Superdome. Chicago has lost 8 straight games. The Vikings could be tied for first if the Cowboys hold on against the Packers, and it looks like they will. 21-7, second quarter, it's all Cowboys. St. Louis and San Francisco, the game you're watching at the half. Cardinals lead at 9-3. 10-7, Baltimore over Seattle at the half. San Diego's ahead of Kansas City. 13-6, that game also at the half. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Bobby and JR are missing in a plane crash, and the Ewing women's emotions are at the breaking point. In this week's 10th edition of Dallas, tonight at 10, 9 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Still can't get over the Houston upset of New England. Or show us some of those plays. The Patriots had it all locked up.
I can hardly wait to see this myself. Of course, Houston wound up winning that game 26-23 after trailing earlier in the ball game, but just fought in the second half and came back for the upset victory. Earl Campbell, New England's ball 2nd and 10 on the 36. Earl Campbell's hit here. He takes the ball down to the Houston 36-yard line. Brandon, the next play here, 1st and goal. I've got the sequence of plays here that I'm having a little trouble with here.
Well, see, here we got Grogan on the keeper. They built up about a 23-0 lead, and then the Oilers came barging back. Carpenter finally got him up on the scoreboard, and Carpenter got another. Watch Earl Campbell here, candidate for Rookie of the Year, particularly in the AFC, barging in for that score.
Richard Cassius hit here for a touchdown, and the game wound up that way. Of course, Houston winning at 26-23. We had a sequence of plays earlier, and they had a little confusion with us. As it turned out, New England dominated the game in the first half. Houston came back in the second half and won it in an upset, as we said before, 26-23.
Here's the game you were watching earlier today. It was Philadelphia and the New York Jets. Now, the Jets, of course, are operating without their starting quarterback, Richard Todd, who was on the sidelines against Philadelphia but did not play at all. Matt Robinson went the distance, but Todd could be able to play next Sunday. Watch the end around. Kenny Payne following number 63, getting to the outside against the Jet defense and inside the 20-yard line. It pays to have size if you've also got decent hands. Harold Carmichael stretching for 6. 7-3 Philadelphia. Back come the Jets. Kevin Long gets the corner turned. Kick was blocked by Carmichael. Now it's Jaworski looking for Harold. Watch this. Snatches it down out of the air. When you're 5'9", you can't cover him. Unfortunately, Jaworski was injured in the game, just suffered back spasms, nothing serious. And right now, let's send you back to Gary Bender.
Okay, Brent, thank you. We're at Candlestick Park, 9-3, our halftime score. The Cardinals on top, and Hank Stram has a special guest.
We have at halftime the celebrated halfback of the San Francisco 49ers, O.J. Simpson. I know, O.J., the people around the country are wondering how long you'll be out with that shoulder injury.
Well, I certainly hope to be back pretty soon. They told me it wouldn't heal for 3 to 8 weeks. I hope to come back the last 2 or 3 games. You know, we have a young football team, and the guys need all the support they can get. And I like to get back and sort of finish the year for them and hopefully end it on an up note so we have something to look forward to next year.
O.J., what specifically is wrong with your shoulder?
Well, it's in what they call the AC joint. I separated the joint there, and I tore some cartilages and ligaments in there, and it's sort of painful. At night, you know, I have to sleep a certain way in bed. Last night, I slept on my stomach for the first time, and I was pretty sore this morning, but it causes me a little uncomfort. But earlier, in the middle of next week, I'm going to start working it out. They're going to put me on a program, so I'll start my way back into the lineup, I hope.
O.J., I know that your ambition is to play with a Super Bowl team somewhere before you get through with your career. In conjunction with that goal, I know probably that your concern also would like to be able to break the record that's been established by Jimmy Brown, 1,538 more yards that you need. Is that a goal that you have in mind?
Well, you know, as a runner, you want to have all the records you possibly can get. I had hoped that if I hadn't got hurt this year, I could have finished this year on a positive note, and I still plan to and play another year. And with a team that has to improve, you know, we got a lot of young football players on this team. We average less than 2 years per player. They said if they got rid of me, they would average about 6 months per player. But we have a young team. We had the few veterans we had got hurt. I think if they came back, we could be a very good football team. Starting the year, we were pretty optimistic. We lost a lot of good football players. We have to start a lot of rookies up front, but I think our veterans will be back next year. I'll be back next year. We're going to have grass here in Candlestone, and I'm looking for a big year next year, and hopefully we can make a run for the playoffs, and hopefully I can get 1,500 some yards. O.J.
Simpson, thank you very much. Good luck and God bless.
Hey,
back to Gary Bender.
Okay, Hank, as you can see here, the people are hanging in there as it continues to rain. We're going to be back with the start of our second half of play, with the Cardinals looking for their 3rd win in a row, leading 9-3 at halftime.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find this near your home.
Oh, hi, it's me again, posting and pasting more posters. This time it's for the first annual Delco battery sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to buy a Freedom battery at a special sale price.
Thanks, Delco.
Wherever you see this poster, look for it in your neighborhood for a great great price on a battery you can trust. Thanks, Delco. Well, you'll be saying thanks, Delco, too.
As a State Farm agent, when people come into my office and sign an application for insurance, my job is just beginning. There's no sitting back and putting the file away.
Agent Vince Grammarosa talks about State Farm service.
We're continually reviewing their protection. We're continually talking to them. It's on a personal service basis from day to day, month to month. We never forget the people.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you're a professional athlete, your body is your life. So you think about it. Take care of it. More than most people. Maybe you. Because it's easy to take your body for granted, or worse, abuse it. By smoking, or by drinking too much, by skipping meals, by not getting enough sleep, and not keeping fit. The list is long, but don't get discouraged. It is possible to change old habits, and worth it. For by choosing how you live, you often decide how long you live. Treat your body well, and chances are your body will return the favor with life. And isn't that what it's all about? We'd like to help with a free booklet called Good Health, The Rules of the Game from the Johns Hopkins Medical Institutions. Send for it if your reasons to live are as beautiful as mine.
Welcome back to Candlestick Park. 9-3, the Cardinals leading the San Francisco 49ers at the halfway point. Gary Bender along with Hank Stram. As this game started out with the 49ers winning the flip, and they marched the football, and they had it for almost 8 minutes before Ray Wershing booted a 45-yard field goal. You can see as Bud Wilkinson comes onto the field, it is cold and damp here. But then the Cardinals, not to be outdone, they got the football for the first time, and they marched with it. And Bakken added a 45-yard field goal, and that's the way it stood, 3-3. But then the Cardinals, with 1:53 left before the end of the first half, marched down, and Jim Hart hit Al Chandler 15 yards out. Chandler's second touchdown catch in as many games. Then they had a bad snap on the point after, and it got away. And then later the Cardinals had another field goal attempt coming up just before the end of the first half, only to have a bad snap again go awry. And so those two bad snaps, Hank, could be a big part of this game before it's over.
Yes, it definitely gives the 49ers a lot of hope. And, you know, the one thing about the first half was Freddie Solomon dropped three possible touchdown passes that would have made a big difference in the way this game is going to be played in the second half.
Well, you can see the Cardinals have dominated statistically.
Yes, they have. No question about that. You can see total yards 208 to 72. And offensive plays were pretty even, 36 and 34. First downs 13 to 7. Yards rushing, Cardinals 43 and the 49ers 88. Both teams really have gone into the game with a tough time rushing the ball, and they're not doing a very good job of rushing it either this afternoon.
Isn't that something, though? The 49ers lead in time and possession, but look how few yards they have. So that first drive made a lot of difference, an 8-minute drive. Ray Wershing will kick off. Harrell is back deep along with Gordon Bell, and this is Harrell. He'll bring it out. Out to the 30. He's got some running room. He kind of slips on the wet surface here, and his forward progress will be on top of the 40-yard line. Wanderman's over there to make the stop for the San Francisco 49ers. And I'll tell you, Hank, it's starting to get cold here.
Yes, there's a lot of chilliness in the air, and I think it's going to have a little bit of an effect on the way they hold on to the football and the way they throw it and the way they kick it.
It continues to rain. It's let up a little bit. It's more of a drizzle right now. So from the 40-yard line, Tilley, Gray, the wide receiver. Hart gives to Otis, and Otis, as you can see, he's having some footing problems. He may have picked up 2 yards on the play. Joe Harris is over there.
He really had a pretty good hole there that time, and he saw it and wanted to cut back inside behind the flow of the linebackers, but slipped on the play and, of course, just made about a yard. 2nd and 9.
Gray to the bottom of the screen, Tilley to the top. In that first half, Hart throwing the ball pretty well, except he threw 2 interceptions, which he would like to keep from doing. He was 10 of 21. Here comes Hart again. Jim Hart, first down inside the 45-yard line.
Jim Otis on a draw play that time saw the running room right up the middle and took advantage of it. I tell you one thing about Jim, he sees any kind of a cavity, he's going to take he's going to run right for that goal line. He's a goal line style of runner. He's running straight ahead and did a good job on that run. Picked up the necessary yardage. That time they were in a 4-3 defense and got the first down.
One of the officials, Joe Connell, almost got run over on that play.
And Bob Young, the left guard, did a good job of blocking on the play.
On a first down, Hart wants to throw. Mel Gray. Hit by Robertson, and I mean hit. But he makes the completion. The ball to the 36.5-yard line.
They've thrown enough in front of Robertson where I think somewhere along in here we can see Gray or Tilley run a slight move to the outside and then run up the field with a double move because he's starting to play a little tighter on the patterns in front.
Second down 4, pickup of 6. Hart with his 11th completion of this game. And there's Otis falling down again, and so Hart has to salvage the play, a flag on the play, and you know, it's interesting. Can you have the wrong footwear sometimes when it starts raining? Maybe you don't have the right stuff to be wearing out there. That's twice now that Hart, or rather Otis, has slipped and fallen down.
You know, that's one thing about the progress with shoes on synthetic turf. There's so many different kinds of shoes that I don't know whether there's any right kind for bad weather.
Number 54, offense, holding.
Tom Banks is guilty of holding.
Here you see Tom Banks. You see his arm grabbing Webb's arm, and that's definitely a holding penalty. They have 5 defensive backs in the secondary now and 2 linebackers. That's the 49ers.
On a second down and 13 after the holding penalty. There's a little delay to Wayne Morris, and Morris having a big day. He's to the 30, and he's got the first down. Wayne Morris having by far his most effective day rushing of the 1978 season.
And that was a great surge and a good call. They had 5 defensive backs and 2 linebackers. The linebackers are playing the backs man for man. And you see what happens here. There's a nice hole right up the middle. He cuts to the left. Chuck Christ has a beat on him and gets a shoulder in and makes the stop.
So the first down, Hart gives to Otis. Otis this time, there's a flag on the play on the near sideline as Otis is able to make it to the 25-yard line. So a lot of problems right now penalty-wise. That's against San Francisco.
You know, Terry Steve, number 68, the right guard, is a young player who we drafted in New Orleans. And I really think he's going to be a great football player. We liked him very, very much in New Orleans, and I think he's going to be an outstanding player for a long, long time for the Cardinals.
They ran right behind him. You know, Dan Deerdorf said he just improves each week, that Steve stays in there and is a vastly improved football player.
78 defense, offside.
And
78.
He's just such a young player that he's going to play for 10 years, provided he doesn't get hurt. But he's got that kind of ability.
78 is Archie Reese. So from the 24-yard line, 1st and 5 for the Cardinals. They lead it 9-3 as we're in the 3rd quarter. They have the wind to the back. It continues to rain. And this is Eason Ransom. And there's another flag on the play. Well, we've had about 5 straight plays now with penalties. Bob Jury defending on it. Ransom very close to the first down with that catch. Offside against San Francisco. That's 2 consecutive times.
Jury is playing very soft on the tight end, and as a result, the tight end is just going out into the flat area. And by the time he can recover, why, he makes enough yardage for a good chunk.
Defense, offside, refused, first down.
That's Cedric Hardman. So earlier, it was Reese. Now it's the other defensive end, Cedric Hardman. And the ball's inside the 18-yard line. A first down. The Cardinals picked up that one by penalty. 2 consecutive offside penalties. Tilley, Gray, the wide receivers. That's Eason Ransom in motion. Wayne Morris. Morris drags Ed Gallagher with him inside the 15-yard line. Morris, who has those strong legs, and he can really fire out. Moves the football, and his forward progress will be to the 12-yard line.
You know, I like what the Cardinals are doing with the tight end. They keep shifting him from side to side, and on occasions they're making the safeties, a strong safety, the Jury, play weak safety, and Chuck Christ, who is normally the weak safety, plays strong safety, and as a result, it gets to be a problem.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Jim Otis to the 10, and Otis has a first and goal just outside the 5-yard line. Dan Buns is over there. Otis broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Showing good upper body strength that time. So it's first and goal.
And here's one of the plays that Jim runs extremely well. It's nothing but a vanilla play to the left side, straight ahead blocking. Webb misses the tackle, and Jim runs right through the grasp of Webb and it makes a nice gain on the play.
First and goal just outside the 5-yard line. Otis trying to slant outside as nothing developed up the middle, and he may have gotten a yard.
One thing that we have to observe here is that Hardman is an excellent defensive end, especially against the pass, especially against the pursuit, but he is not especially good when you run right at him, and that's what they're doing right now. They're running at Hardman and doing a good job of making yardage at that position.
There is Coach Bud Wilkinson. They gain about a yard, maybe a half yard. So it's second and goal, just about on top of the 5-yard line. Hart wants to throw. Nobody clears. He just had to get rid of it. Eason Ransom, and Hart is really upset at himself for what it developed on that play, but looked like Otis was the primary receiver and he couldn't get open.
Well, Ransom was wide open, the tight end, and 50, Joe Harris got penetration, and it looked like he made Jim throw the ball before he was ready to throw it, and he threw it into the ground, but the tight end, Eason Ransom, was wide open on the play.
So we come to a third and goal at the 5-yard line. Al Chandler goes out. Jim Otis checks out. Ransom is in. Tilley and Gray, the wide receivers. Hart wants to throw again. Tilley, touchdown. Pat Tilley, and that is his first touchdown catch of the year.
They did a very cute thing on that, Gary. He was in motion on the right side like he was going to come across the formation. He stopped and went back into the corner. Nobody was on him at all. He wasn't covered. See him wide open in the corner. They expected him to go in motion across the field or up the field. He went back away from the grain and was wide open. A beautiful executed play by the Cardinals.
Well, the snap this time is good, and the kick by Bachkin is also good. So the Cardinals get a little breathing room. 10:08 to go, third quarter. They have a 16-3 lead.
Take any razor available in America. Any razor. Now there's an electric shaver that will shave as close or your money back. The Remington XLR. Remington can guarantee a close shave because only Remington has this remarkable 3-part system. The first head shaves close, the second closer. The unique intercept cutter is designed to shave longer hairs. The Remington XLR. It shaves as close as a blade or your money back.
This is Monument Valley, and today it greets the Budweiser Clydesdales, proud symbols of a beer whose unique, distinctive taste leads the way. Wherever you go in this great land, when you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Well, Jim Hart with his second touchdown pass of the day, a 5-yarder to Pat Tilley. Tilley, despite all those catches he's made, that was his first touchdown grab, so I know he's got to be happy with that.
I like the looks of him. He's a very dependable, steady performer. Gives you 100% on everything that he runs, and the big thing about it is you get the ball close to him, he's going to catch it.
Absolutely. Mike Wood to kick off. Boykin, Williams, and Walker deep for the 49ers, a line driver. This is Dave Williams having trouble. And he gets it out to about the 14-yard line. So the 49ers do not have the good field position. So San Francisco, who came in here 1-9, tied with the Cincinnati Bengals with the worst record in the NFL, right now find themselves in a catch-up situation.
You know, it's a great compliment to Bud and his fine staff to have this team respond like they have after losing 8 consecutive games. But they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of animation, executing well, and That's a sign of a coach doing a good job.
And Hank, they're out to salvage the second half of the year.
It's very obvious that they feel that they can.
Quick pitch to Hofer. And Hofer's across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Kurt Allerman over to make the stop. Well, the Cardinals, if they'd win today, win 3 in a row, and then they come up against that Washington jinx. It's really been tough for them. They've lost 5 in a row, but the Redskins just got out today by the skin of their teeth.
Well, that's a sign of a good football team. You know, when you can win a close game or win a game when you're not playing very well. It was an important game for Washington, and regardless what the score was, the big thing and the important thing was that they won.
Second down, 9. Scott Bull gives off to Bobby Farrell, and Farrell going to get about 2 more yards, and that's all. So it's going to bring up a third down for San Francisco. Ken Green is over there. Green's played quite a game. Steve Neal's also an assist. Look at him. You try to get out of the rain any way you can.
We're lucky to be just slightly out of it here. We get a few spots, a few sprays from the outside in here, but it isn't too bad.
So at the 19.5-yard line, third down, 6 yards to go. They have Harrison. Solomon is a wide receiver. There's Scott Bull. He does not throw the ball all that much, or hasn't. So he's got a tough chore now. He's going to have to throw the ball to play catch-up. Over the middle, McAfee. Kenny Stone almost had it. Stone, who has 6 interceptions in the last 6 games, almost had number 7.
Yeah, he had that one, and he looked at Scott Bull all the way. There was a blitz on the play. Bull stays in the pocket nicely, but there you see Stone, number 23, just waiting, and had he kind of anticipated it, he would have made the catch. He waited for the ball to come to him instead of going after the ball, or else he'd had an interception.
Mike Connell back to kick. Ken Stone has been quite a story. He's come on so well at that safety spot. 6 interceptions, second in the NFC. Here's Connell from the 5. Will Harrell is deep for the Cardinals. Kyle Davis is in to snap the ball. Connell hits it very high. Harrell with a fair catch at the 47-yard line of St. Louis. So the Cardinals with a good field position with a 16-3 lead. 8:20 remaining, third quarter.
I'm John Kelly, a tire engineer, and this is the Firestone 721 radio. A tire we have so much confidence in, we're backing every 721 sold for the rest of this year with this guarantee. If a Firestone 721 becomes unserviceable within 2 years because of defects in workmanship or materials, we'll replace it free. Only road hazard and in-service abuse are excluded. The Firestone 721, we're so confident we guarantee them for 2 full years.
The new Ford Pinto for $79. A new design for a little American workhorse. New up here, new back here, new in here, and it's loaded. Bucket seats, standard. AM radio and electronic ignition, standard. 2.3-liter engine, standard. Electric rear window defroster, standard. Rack and pinion steering, standard. Front disc brakes, standard. At this low price, the spanking new 79 Pinto at your Ford dealer.
Well, it rains, and it's continuing to rain here at Candlestick Park. You can see they're having a tough time keeping the football dry. The Cardinals had the ball. They have it at their own 47-yard line. They have a 16-3 lead. Jumping offside, San Francisco. Hart cranking up. Mel Gray wide open. They had Robertson beat all the way on that one.
Yeah, they had a blitz on that time. They had man-for-man coverage. Offside, San Francisco. So it makes it 1st and 5, and Mel Gray had him licked. Would have been a touchdown had he got the ball on target.
Gray's going to get a breather now as he'll go to the sideline. Dave Steefe will come in.
Number 75, defense, offside, first down.
That's Ed Gallagher, the former New York Jet, 7th-year man from UCLA.
There you see Gallagher, 75, anticipating the count and anticipating wrong. Penalty, 5 yards.
First down and 5. Jim Otis. And Otis is to the 46-yard line. Cedric Hardman is there. 3, possibly 4 yards short of the first down. There's Hardman. Boy, what a career he's had. 9th year out of North Texas State. 1975, he was all-pro. He's been in the Pro Bowl 3 times. He's one of the most feared rushers in the game today. You know, they have this Gold Rush crew that in 1976 had 61 sacks.
Oh, they were tremendous, and he was a very important factor in the success of that defensive team.
Second down, 4, and Otis just about a yard, and that's all, to the 45. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Jimmy Webb. That's been one of the mysteries, really, Hank, on the 49er forward wall. They had 61 sacks. A year ago, 42. They had only 21 coming into today.
Well, I think a lot of teams are trying to run the ball on them, too, and that makes a big difference. But I think that's really why they haven't gotten to the passer more.
There's Hart, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. 3rd down, 3. A little delay to Steve Jones, who just checked in, and that didn't fool anybody. So it'll bring up a 4th down as Dan Bunz, the middle linebacker, was there. And Freddie Solomon is going to go back deep. He's going to be joined back there by a new man in the lineup by the name of Schumann, who they just picked up this week. Mike Schumann, a rookie out of Florida State who started the year with Miami. They added 2 free agents this week, both of them wide receivers. And back to kick will be Mike Wood. Wood last week did quite a job against the New York Giants.
Let's see if he tries to kick to his left or to his right. He's a right-footed kicker. Should kick to his left, and he does.
Fair catch is called for. And I shouldn't say this, but Freddie Solomon just can't seem to catch the football today.
He's having a hard time.
He couldn't catch it on a pass. He can't now. There's timeout. The Cardinals with the lead.
This fresh egg is going to help us sell this brand new Free Flex shoe from Freeman. Watch. You can do it with any new Freeman Free Flex. See Freeman shoes at fine stores everywhere.
No doubt about it. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents the Series Championship of Women's Tennis. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Crowd of 33,000. They've just announced there's 12,886 no-shows. They had 10,000 last week as the brave souls, very hardy souls here today. So after that kick by Wood, 49ers have the ball at their own 17-yard line. They trail 16-3. Bull on first down. And he got his man, Kenny Harrison. And Harrison kept both feet in bounds. That's a good catch by him.
You know, he was open all the way, too. It was a play-action pass. Watch Harrison, 83, go right down the field. Roger Worley took off like he was going to be a fly pattern. He broke to the outside. Scott Bull had to scramble a little bit, but Harrison knew where he was all the time, kept his feet in bounds, made the catch, and first down, San Francisco.
The ball at the 34-yard line. Scott Bull to throw again. And he just got rid of that one as Mike Dawson dropped him. Dawson was on top of him.
There's a penalty, a flag downfield, and that time, Gary, they were in double coverage again, and Scott Bull didn't read it very well, and it looks like a penalty against
St. Louis. It's going to be holding. That was way off from the football.
Yes, it was. It was on the other side of where they threw the ball, but again, Scott Bull, the young quarterback, was surprised by the double cover. Here's a announcement.
Number 50 defense, holding, first down.
That's Kurt Allerman, the linebacker. So the first down at the 39, and all of a sudden now, 49ers got a little operating room. Started from the 17. Baltimore leads Seattle 10-7. Can't believe you could hold the Seahawks to only 7 points the way they've been scoring.
Yeah, not many people have done that this year.
Ball on a first down gives to Paul Hofer, and Hofer runs into a lot of white shirts as he's just across the 40 to the 41. Eric Williams, Kurt Allerman, the men in the middle. Eric Williams is playing, as you look at Coach Bud Wilkinson, with a specially designed elbow brace. He had a hyperextension of that elbow, which slowed his progress. He's probably a real key to that defense, as he is just quite a player, second-year man from USC.
You know, John Zook that time did a good job, along with Mark Arneson, number 57.
There's Fred O'Connor still looking for his first win. The second time around his second game as the head coach of the 49ers. Second down and 8. Ball to Harrison, intercepted. Kenny Stone. Now Harrison and Worley collided.
Harrison interfered on the play, I'm sure. That's what they're going to call. At least I think they will. Let's see what they call.
That's exactly right. Well, Ken Stone now has 7 interceptions. 7 in the last 7 games.
That was a blitz again, and the young quarterback just threw it up for grabs, really. And
number 83, offensive pass interference, refused, first down.
There you hear the call. Here you see again, you see Harrison, number 83, push Worley, intercepted by Ken Stone, number 23.
Timeout. We'll be back. The Cardinals have the ball at the 25.
Dawn launch, Sea of Japan. The Navy. See a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Look, out on the road! It's a car! It's a Fiesta!
It's Wundercar, Ford Fiesta from Germany. With front-wheel drive and Michelin steel-belted radios for sure-footed traction. Fiesta, Wundercar, with responsive acceleration that's quick to the rescue. Fiesta, Wundercar, ready to go long distances on a gallon of gas. Wundercar, disguised as a Fiesta.
I like it, Clark.
So do I, Lois, at your Ford dealer.
Sorry, you keep me showing.
Thanks, Stram. I'm Gary Bender, and from the 25-yard line, the Cardinals have the football after Ken Stone just intercepted his 7th pass of the year. Jim Hart gives off to Wayne Morris. Morris doesn't get anything on that play. The ball is loose, but it's been blown dead.
One thing about Hardman, number 86, it's much easier to run inside of him than it is to run outside. That time they tried to run outside, probably figuring that they run inside quite a bit, but he responded just like he normally does, and he tripped up the ball carrier and kept them from making any yardage on the play. Eddie Lewis also was in on the tackle. Number
Lewis
22.
is shaken up on the play, Hank. He's limping out there. So it's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Gray to the bottom of the screen. Also Tilley. Hart to Gray. Gray makes a move. That's what they want, is to get him out there isolated, let him get by that initial defender, and then look out.
Yes, and again, they continue to throw in front of Robertson, number 49, and they can do that anytime they want to.
Back before. This is his first game. He's replaced Anthony Leonard, and he may wish he'd never moved out there. Here's Hart to Wayne Morris. And Morris gets out of bounds. Joe Harris defending on the play.
That time there was a lot of confusion on the play. They didn't. Robertson didn't know where to go, whether to go to the slot side or the weak side. He finally wound up moving when the ball was snapped, and as a result, Morris was wide open on the play and picked up some yardage.
And a guy like Jim Hart doesn't miss any of that. He knows exactly what's happening back there. Anthony Leonard now is playing the right corner for the injured Eddie Lewis. Lewis, as we said, was hobbled. It looked like a leg injury. 2nd and 7, Jim Otis. And Otis is just going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Bradley, Hardman, they can't seem to get that corner turned on that far side.
No, and they're not going to get a turn. You're not going to get outside of Hartman, I assure you. You might do it by accident, but not by design. He plays the outside, rushes the passer. He's an outside pass rusher, plays the outside well against the run, and that's why it's important when you do run at him to run inside, not outside.
6'4", 245-pounder, Cedric Hardman.
Lewis is back in the game for Anthony Leonard, number 42.
Robertson continues to operate at left corner. There's the 3rd down conversions on a 3rd and 7.
A lot of room out here again.
Art's in trouble. Joe Harris dumps it to Steve Jones. Boy, Joe Harris came through there, didn't he?
Yes, that was a blitz. Bruce Elia was also in on the blitz. There's a flag down on the play. Offside, San Francisco.
Well, maybe that's the reason they were through so quickly, but Harris came untouched on that play. And Hardman now at the top of your screen is arguing vehemently, but that'll be no avail as they'll step off 5 yards. I think that's who was offside.
Number 86, defense, offside, 3rd down.
That's right.
That's why it's so important to keep changing that count. It seems like a very minor thing, but it's very important to change the count. In fact, we used to keep track of the count on the sideline to make sure that we reminded our quarterback, and sometimes said you're going too much on 2 or you're going too much on 1. You got to keep changing it, because if you're not careful, the defense gets the rhythm of the count as much as the offense.
3rd down and about 2 yards to go. And they try to get it. Sending the big guy up the middle, Jim Otis.
And they got it. At least it looks like they did.
Yep, they sure did, as he's just short of the 50-yard line. Buns and Reese continue to make a lot of tackles on this team.
Good place to run, too, over right guard Terry Steve and Dan Deerdorf, who did a good job of creating enough of a cavity for Jim Otis to make the yardage.
So the Cardinals will have Gray and Tilley wide left and wide right. That's Ransom, number 80, jumping into the tight end spot.
They're going to double cover the outside people. The tight end might be open.
Here's Gray. Bob Jury going over there. Robertson. I don't think Robertson can believe how quick Gray is. He's just going by him and leaving him, and he's just like he's in a trance.
Looks like he's in the Air Corps. Bombs away on that left corner. And that time, Eason was wide open. The tight end down the middle, Eason Ransom, number 80, on the double coverage. But Jim elected to throw the ball outside and over the top.
2nd and 10. They're going to bring in 5 defensive backs as Ed Gallagher checks out of that forward wall. Dave Steep is now in at the top, flanked out along with Tilley.
They faked the blitz that time.
This is Ransom, and he's hit pretty hard by Robertson. His forward progress just short of the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and still 5 yards to go.
5 defensive backs. This time they throw to the tight end, Ransom, number 80, in front of Robertson. He comes up nicely and makes the hit. There you see he's got good leverage, wraps his arms around him like he should, and knocks him out of bounds. It's 3rd and about 5.
3rd and 5 for the Cardinals. 2 minutes, 56 seconds left in this 3rd quarter.
Blitz again. Blitz.
And the intended receiver was Ransom. You could see both Banks and Bob Young had pulled out to send the convoy to the far side, but it just didn't materialize.
I don't think Jim could find Ransom like he wanted to, and as a result, had to throw the ball over the top. But Eason Ransom was the intended receiver on a screen. They had the right play call. You like a screen against a blitzing defense.
That's Mike Schumann, number 84, the young rookie free agent out of Florida State. This is Mike Wood. Last week, averaged 39.6 in the punting department against the Giants. They're going to let it hit, and it's going to make it in for the touchback. So out at the 20-yard line, the 49ers will have the football with 2:37 left in the 3rd quarter. Looking ahead to tonight on 60 Minutes, beginning at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock Central and Mountain Time. If you're a collector of anything, you'll want to see this program, 60 Minutes. What a program it is. And then following that, David Jansen heads an all-star cast in the premiere of Irving Wallace's The Word. And then Dallas follows the movie, and tonight the Ewing women are really staggered by reports that Bobby and Junior are missing in a plane crash. 60 Minutes, The Word, and Dallas, all tonight, right here on CBS. Bobby Farrell carrying the ball, and Farrell's got close to 5 yards as he brings it out to the 25-yard line. A look at Scott Bull. He was the prep high school athlete of the year in the state of Arkansas. Then he went to play for the Razorbacks. And in his senior year, they won 13 football games, losing only in a bowl game.
He's got a lot of poise and runs the team very well, Gary.
But you can see he's having a tough time passing. They're 3 for 11. 319. On a 2nd and 5. Complete to Farrell. Farrell's got a first down. As he drags, Steve Neal's with him. First down, San Francisco.
That's when he looks most effective, when he moves the pocket by design, rolls right, rolls left, play action passes, play action and rolls. He does that extremely well, and he puts a lot of pressure on the defense when he does do that. That was a good illustration of it right there.
Well, you know, Scott Bull started 2 games his rookie year in '76, and they won both of them. Also a preseason game. But last year, he threw only 24 passes. And, of course, his first starting call today.
He's got to do more throwing on first down.
In motion goes Sullivan. Give to Hofer, and Hofer is going to get a couple of 3 yards. Bob Pollard leading the charge defensively. And also Mike Dawson.
The guards, Knutson and Downing, continue, 60 and 62, continue to bring in the plays from the coaching staff on the sideline.
Before that, under Pete McCauley and when Steve DeBerg was the quarterback, he was calling the plays. And then they made that change with O'Connor, and now he's calling them.
Well, you know, O'Connor was on the staff with Jack Pardee, and that's what they did. He called the plays for the Bears, and I'm sure that he feels that's the best way for them to function at this stage of their team.
2nd down and 8. This is Harrison. Kenny Harrison to the 20-yard line, make it the 19-yard line. Roger Worley finally caught up with him, and Bull threw that ball very well.
Threw it, and here again, it was a rollout to the weak side. He rolled to his right that time and threw the ball right between Roger Worley and Kenny Stone. Watch it. Beautiful throw and a great concentration on the part of Ken Harrison, 83, who stayed with it all the way. Good for 48 yards and a first down.
You know, last week Harrison caught a pass for 50 yards. Now a 48-yarder. He was cut earlier in the year and re-signed. From the 19-yard line, a give to Hofer. And he may have lost a half yard on that one. Ron Yankowski now playing at right defensive end. The former Kansas State standout stacked that play up and then some. Just nothing developed on that, and that may be the last play of this 3rd quarter. But Harrison, who is a brother of Dwight Harrison, who's a defensive back for the Buffalo Bills, made a couple of big plays the last 2 games for the 49ers.
He really reached up and got that beautifully.
So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Cardinals 16, the 49ers 3. We now pause for a word from your local station.
The Word, a shocking discovery that shatters the Christian world. They'll do anything to stop The Word. Starting Sunday, November 12th, The Word.
This is CBS.
David Jansen stars in The Word. He had lost his faith.
How dare you defile the house of God?
His marriage shattered. He found other women.
I think you have a talent for seduction.
Then the discovery that changed his life and shocked the entire Christian world. Was it a hoax or a miracle? The Word starts Sunday.
So we start the 4th quarter. And the 49ers, after that long 48-yard pass completion, now with a chance to climb back into this football game. And the ball at the 20.
See if they try to do something on Carl Allen over here. He's rolling here. Here it is.
Scott Bull to Bobby Farrell. Farrell is at the 11-yard line. And Steve Neal's defending on the play. And Scott Bull being very effective with those rollout passes.
Yes, and he just rolled to his right that time, Gary. You're right, rolled to his right. They drove Allen back, threw in front of him, and another nice gain on the play.
You know, Hank, looking ahead, should the 49ers get in on this one, that point after looks awfully big now, doesn't it?
Yes, they always do. You know, when you miss an extra point or a field goal, especially like they have on 2 occasions, they could be a big factor in the outcome of this game. 2 tight ends in the game right now.
There they are, 3 of 10 on third down conversions, 3rd and 2. Scott Bull gives it to Farrell, and Farrell is trying to get to the goal line. What an effort by Bobby Farrell. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon on that play.
Boy, he got off the mark as well as I've seen anybody get off the ball all year long. He got into that crack. He got into the crack beautifully. And the left guard, Ernie Hughes, John Ayers, Fred Quillen, did a good job of blocking on the play, but Farrell really blew in there tough and almost fought his way into the end zone on the play.
Boy, what determination. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Scott Bull asking for some quiet. Bull trying to sneak it, and he's not going to get it. Boy, he hit a brick wall, didn't he?
Yes, that's a poor call because the quarterback really doesn't have any momentum at all, and he doesn't have any kind of a surge, and it's tough for the quarterback to take the ball in on that kind of a situation. It's much better to give it to a halfback or a fullback because he's got a good running start.
Dawson, Yankowski, Arneson, all of them. Got to give credit to the entire forward wall. So it's 2nd and goal. They may have lost a little on that one. Solomon is flanked out. 2 tight ends are in. Ball gives to Hofer. And it's going to be 3rd and goal.
That's the 2nd time they try to run across the ball from a formation with the left halfback on the left side of the ball. It's a long way for them to go, a long way for them to get penetration. You see, there you see Williams, 55, coming in there along with Steve Neal's, all doing a good job, and they stop the play for no gain.
They lost yardage, Hank. They're back out close to the 2-yard line now.
He's going to have to roll out, run some kind of a play-action pass to get the ball in there if he hopes to. Let's see what he does here.
He's going to have to hurry. He's only got 6 seconds. 6 seconds, so he's going to have a delay a game coming up. He's going to have to hurry. 2, 1. He didn't get it off. Delay a game. And boy, that's going to give Coach a gray hair, right?
That's really murder. It's tough enough when you make mistakes, but when you stop yourself and the mistakes are self-inflicted, that really hurts.
Delay of game call. Would you believe that? San Francisco's had everything happen to them this year. Well, now you've got a 3rd and goal.
Now they take out the 2 tight ends and they bring Harrison back in the game. They'll go to their normal setup, and they'll try to get the ball in the end zones from about the 6 or 7 yard line. And I'm sure it'll be some kind of a rollout. Let's see what they do.
At the 7-yard line, 3rd and goal. Scott Bull to Paul Hofer. Hofer trying to get in. He's to about the 1. There is a flag, however, on the other side of the field.
A flag on the other side, you don't know what it is.
It's offside against St. Louis. Now, let's see, they had it at the 7-yard line, so they won't take that penalty. Or would they want another down?
Let's see what they do here.
It's a tough decision. And we've got a man shaking up for San Francisco. That's a tough decision, whether you take that play over or you go to a 4th down at about the 1. Because they had it at the 7-yard line, and they're going to take the penalty, Hank, and have another down. There's the man, Bobby Farrell.
Bobby Farrell is down, yep.
They're taking the penalty, and they'll have it at the 3-yard line.
Offside defense.
Now they got 2 down, which is a smart thing for them to do. They got 2 downs to get the 3 yards instead of 1 down to get 1.
Boy, those 2-3 yards have been awfully tough, though.
Yep.
There you go. That is Dawson who fired prematurely. And so now it's 3rd and goal at the 3. We have 2 tight ends again in.
Let's see if they roll out this time. They were very successful with it before. There it is.
Ball to Paul Seal. Broken up beautifully. What a play by Roger Worley. Roger Worley, who all year long has been making those kind of plays. He made an end zone interception against Philadelphia.
Yeah, that time they rolled out away from the strength of the formation. The tight end was on the right side. They faked inside and tried to throw over the top. Roger Worley just did it beautifully. Just like you want to make a highlight film, that's the way you'd play it on Paul Seal, number 85.
Well, that's the reason he's an all-pro. You know, they're going to go for it. They're not going to go for the field goal. 4th down.
They'll roll out again, I'm sure.
Got ball off to Bob Farrell. Bob Farrell. And they're back in this game. Hank, were you surprised they didn't go for a field goal?
No, I wasn't surprised at that, but I was surprised at the play they ran, but it was the right one, obviously, because they went for the touchdown. I thought sure they tried to roll out and flood an area, but they give it to him right inside there, Bobby Farrell, and he does a great job running through traffic and fighting his way into the end zone for the touchdown. An unusual play, and that's probably why it was successful.
Boy, that point after very big now. 16-9. The Cardinals earlier messed up a point after. Kick is on the way by Worthing, 16-10. And all of a sudden, that Cardinal lead has been cut to 6 points. They're still a long ways from winning this one. 12:44 is left.
Fred, we got a new page 1 here.
Making sure the news gets out is what my job's about. Now it's all behind. Got blue ribbon on my mind. I've got Pabst blue ribbon on my mind. More and more lately I find
The premium taste of Pabst. It's a lot to look forward to.
I've got Pabst blue ribbon on my mind.
It takes the average wheat farmer over 50 days and 14 tons of machinery just to plant his seeds in the ground. Now Phillips Petroleum has helped develop a better way, a system that plows, fertilizes, and plants in a single step. It can lighten a farmer's workload and cut his fuel use in half, conserving energy for all of us while we make fine products for your car. That's performance from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Well, that was an impressive drive. As you can see, 80 yards, 13 plays, almost 5 minutes. And Bobby Farrell culminating that drive with a 3-yard run. And that was a very tenacious effort by Scott Bull. He just kept hammering away.
Yes, he did, and you have to give the coaching staff some credit, too, on that call, because it was unusual, and I'm sure they would have been criticized severely had he not gone in for the touchdown, but it was a good call.
Ray Wershing kicking it short. This is going to be Gordon Bell. Gordon Bell's going to get it out of there. So what looked like a real disaster turns into a pretty good run. Out to the 28-yard line, Mike Baldassin making the stop on Bell, who has just signed this week. Former New York Giant. 16-10. 12:33 remaining in this game. Coach Bud Wilkinson, it hasn't been easy for him. Last week they took a 20-0 lead and then held on to win 20-10 over the Giants. And then they had to hang on to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, they won some close ones and they lost a lot of close ones the same way, Gary.
From the 28, a first down, Jim Otis. And Otis to the 30, and you can see quite obviously the 49ers are fired up now. They've really taken some impetus from that last drive.
And the wind is going to be a factor in this 4th quarter. The San Francisco 49ers have the wind, and it's always a factor in this ballpark because it's very deceptive.
It swirls around here. It's awfully hard to know where it's blowing from. It continues to rain. It's rained the entire game, and Dallas is putting a number on Green Bay. 28-7. Here's Wayne Morris, and Morris out to the 35, and a flag has been thrown.
That time they were in a 3-5, the Oklahoma defense, with Bruce Elia in as one of the linebackers.
Gene Barth indicating clipping against the Cardinals. So that'll bring it back. And the Cardinals now in a very, very difficult situation. They're protecting a 6-point lead. They don't have the field position. As Hank mentioned, they're going into the wind. Let's listen.
Personal foul, illegal crackback, number 85 offense.
Illegal crackback, not a clip. But the penalty's back to the 15-yard line for the Cardinals. St. Louis led 16-3 in the third quarter, and now with a 16-10 lead. Second and 23. Hart to throw. Intended for Kelly, and Robertson had it and dropped it. The guy they've been picking on all day could have been a hero, but he couldn't hang on.
Yes. He tried so hard to make the catch, and that happens so much of the time. Instead of just catching it with his hands, watch here, he tries to catch it with his arms and his body. Hart throws right into coverage this time. Watch. It's a little low, but it hits him right at the numbers and falls out incomplete.
So from the 15-yard line, third down, 23. Hart trying to keep this drive going. Tilley. He hit. He was really hit by Chuck Chris. And Chris has been one of the standouts today. 2 interceptions and that bone-jarring hit.
I mentioned Chuck on several occasions earlier. Watch him here. We had him at New Orleans for 2 years, and prior to that for the Giants. But he's an excellent football player. He's got a great nose for the ball. Reads the quarterback well. Watch him. He's anticipating the ball. He doesn't wait for it to come to him. Watch. He gets a good jump and gets a good shot on the receiver, Pat Tilley, and jars the ball loose.
That still wouldn't have been enough for the first down, but it would have given them some field position. There's Mike Wood kicking. It's a fine kick. This is Schumann. And Schumann is dropped by Ken Green, as Green reacted very well and stops him at the 45-yard line. The San Francisco into the field. So the 49ers down by 6. They have the football.
Sir, excuse me. You just bought a new maintenance-free Firestone Forever battery. How come?
Well, the warranty. You see, if this battery ever fails to hold a charge for the original owner, that's me, in the car in which it was originally installed, right here, Firestone will replace it free with proof of purchase, provided it's not merely discharged or damaged due to accident or abuse. Oh, and I don't even have to put in water. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it sure does.
The Forever battery, now maintenance-free.
How about a winner for me?
New Schlitz Light.
There's a new taste in Schlitz Light. The taste of natural ingredients brewed into a Pilsner beer. New Schlitz Light. Still less filling with a taste that's bigger than light.
Gentlemen, here's to fast horses.
Schlitz Light and those who love them.
Schlitz Light. Natural Pilsner beer.
Next Sunday on CBS Sports, see NFL doubleheader action. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, Mike Wood kicked a 41-yarder. And at the 45 of San Francisco, the 49ers have the football. 11:27 left in the game. This is Farrell. Steve Niels has got him, and help arrives. Bob Ballard over there to help on the play. Farrell, who's starting his third straight week, beating out Greg Boykin. And the way he's played today, he's going to be tough to dislodge. He has been impressive.
And he's running with such great determination. You know, the other thing I mentioned about Hardman, it's the same, a little bit the same thing with Bob Pollard. Bob is an excellent player and very difficult to get on the outside of Pollard. It's easier to run inside of Bob than it is to run outside, and he played that last one very well.
Farrell now with 55 yards rushing for the day on 11 carries. 2nd and 7. There's that slippery turf, and Bull has to eat the football. Paul Hofer just couldn't stay on his feet. We've seen that happen about 3 or 4 times today.
Yes, that looked like a double fake that time to the halfback and the fullback, but in the process he slipped and fell. It's tough to stop yourself on a drive like this one when you need to get the ball down the field and you wind up with only 3 downs, in this area 2 downs, to make the first down instead of 3.
There's the 49ers, their defense, talking it over. They've done quite a job. Here's Bull. Ken McAfee, the intended receiver, he and Eric Williams kind of got tangled up on that play. McAfee complaining he felt like his progress was impeded illegally, but nothing doing. It'll bring up the 4th down. Boy, that McAfee is big. 6'4", 250. 7th player taken in the draft this year in the first round.
He's not a tight end. He's a loose tackle.
Mike Connell to kick. Will Harrell back deep for the Cardinals. They're going to have to get another football into play.
Well, that was a big series for the St. Louis Cardinals. They did a good job of responding to the challenge defensively. And
here's
see
Harrell.
what happens now when they get possession of the ball. 1st and 10.
We might indicate Harrell's been slowed by injuries, a leg injury. They weren't sure coming into this game how healthy he'd be, but he's been back there for every punt. And I don't believe they got it underway in time. That's another delay of game. They didn't get it underway, and so 2 delay of game calls here in the 4th quarter.
You know, the thing that happened there on the defense, the St. Louis Cardinals are moving people around trying to disturb the blocking responsibilities of the 49ers. There was a little indecision. O'Connor is on the field wondering what happened on the play, but that's exactly what happened. The
delay
players...
game, offense, 4th down.
Well, they're taking advantage of those 3 rookies playing in the middle of that offensive line.
Yeah, they created some problems, and as a result, they took a lot more time than they should have.
So they'll try it again, except for the 5 yards back up the field. As from the 25 this time, Connell will kick. Connell, a rookie out of Cincinnati. He did not get that one very well. He hit it off the side of his foot. And it's going to be in the vicinity of the 37-yard line. So Connell did not hit that one well. And at the 10:39 mark of the 4th quarter, the Cardinals have it with a 6-point lead.
The secret to getting ahead in business is staying cool, because somebody's always trying to pass you up, especially if you're renting a car. You see, I can walk through airports. I have an Avis Wizard number. Cool.
Oh, Mr. Bell, that mid-sized car you reserved, we just rented the last one.
What?
So we're giving you a Buick LeSabre at the same rate.
What?
Well, that's the Avis policy.
What a wonderful thing to do.
Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we all know another way.
Ford introduces a new wagon for the American road. The all-new LTD Country Squire for $79. A new wagon with more driver convenience, more handling ease, more window area, and more passenger room than last year's Country Squire.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
The all-new Ford LTD Country Squire for $79. See it at your Ford dealer now.
Well, let's check another score being played elsewhere. San Diego, Kansas City, they're all even. 20-20, 4th quarter of play. And the Dallas Cowboys are really having an afternoon. Look at that, 35-7 over Green Bay, and nobody's been scoring very many points against the Packers.
No, but this is, you know, the challenge that the Dallas team has at this particular time is maybe just what they needed to get them out of the complacent attitude that they've had, and they could come on strong from here on in.
That last kick by Connell was only 24 yards. So from the 36-yard line, the Cardinals have it. Wayne Morris. And Morris to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 4. We're to bring up a 2nd and 6. Eddie Lewis making the stop. Jimmy Webb, an assist on the play. Well, the Cardinals, as you mentioned, Hank, made a good defensive stand on that last series, and now the offense could put this game away if they can keep it moving now with 10-15 remaining.
And I think they have to throw the ball a little bit more than they have, too. They're kind of sitting on this lead. But I think they can throw the ball when they want to, and I don't think they can just consistently run the ball down their throat.
From the 40, a give to Otis, a flag on the play.
Deerdorf that time was in motion, was leaning on the play, and we'll see what they call.
You know, we should say that Deerdorf, when he got into San Francisco last night, had an abscessed tooth. They had to take him to the dentist, have it drained, and he was there ready to go today, but he's had trouble with his teeth ever since he had his jaw broken a year ago.
Illegal motion, number 72 offense, refused.
So Dan back in there. They said he was able to eat shortly after he had the tooth worked on, I should say, and so he's in the lineup. And he has played this year with a lot of hurts and pains with a knee brace at times.
He's a great player, and he finds a way to play regardless of what the injury situation might be, if it's at all possible.
Third down, long 6 to go. Hart's got a lot of time, far side, Tilley. And you know something, I wonder if the wind could have affected that ball a little bit.
It definitely did. It kind of blew it off course. Tilley leaped for the ball, and I think it took off into the wind and created a problem for him to make the reception. He was wide open. Gallagher is providing a rush. There's Webb, 74, providing some more pressure. And he throws the ball. He's wide open, but the ball just sailed right over the top of his head.
You know, John Brody said that you'd play here sometimes, you couldn't believe what would happen to the football. All those years he was a San Francisco quarterback.
Well, in a pregame warm-up several years ago, Jerry Wilson, our great punter, missed the ball completely in a pregame drill because the wind disturbed the drop of the ball so much.
Mike Schumann with a fair catch. The 49ers with a football. 9:38 left in this game.
Are we gonna get to Grandma's?
Darn, I forgot to put in Prestone.
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone, Prestone 2.
Protect against freeze-ups and corrosion. Take out old, weak antifreeze and put in America's most trusted antifreeze, Prestone 2.
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone, Prestone 2.
And when you flush your cooling system, use Prestone Super Flush.
You have strange language in this country, like the name of this beer. Anheuser-Busch Natural Light. Tastes good, but I need an interpreter when I order.
I used to need an interpreter myself till I realized you don't need a whole vocabulary, just one little vocabule.
Vocabule? Is that V or V?
Just say natural. Beer tender.
2 more. Naturals.
Coming up. Oh, you want clean glasses?
No thanks. I wear contacts.
While you're away, they found an ineligible receiver downfield on that last kick. So the Cardinals, after the 5-yard penalty, kick it over, and they're going to come away better for it. As they get a break, the ball rolls down to the 15-yard line. So the 49ers, wanting the Cardinals to kick over after the ineligible man downfield, backfires on him.
Mike Schumann, 84, did a poor job that time. He should have caught the ball, signaled for a fair catch, but he shouldn't let it hit the turf and bounce like it did. They lost a lot of yardage on the play. There's a 50-yard kick, and Gary, the lights are on here at Candlestick Park.
I tell you, it is dark here. And it seems colder than it really is. I don't know whether it's the dampness in the air or what it is.
Well, the dampness and, of course, the wind is very penetrating.
Just across the 15-yard line, the 49ers down by 6 points. 9:25 left in the game. They fake the end-around reverse, complete. The Paul Horford, he's in bounds. Look out. He almost stayed in all the way. Horford did a magnificent job that time of staying inbounds.
Well, he got hit a couple of times on the sideline and maintained his balance. Watch, they fake the reverse, fake the play action, fake the reverse, and then throw downfield to Horford, number 36. Watch him. Now he gets a shot here, but he stays in bounds. A poor tackle there by Carl Allen. Here's another shot. And he's finally knocked out of bounds by Ken Stone, number 23.
48-yard pickup on the play to the 38, and they're in business again. Here's Bob Farrell. Tim Carney catches him. A 48-yarder, and we have a man shaken up for the Cardinals at the 38-yard line. That's Bob Pollard, who's getting up very slowly. So How this game has changed on the big plays. We've had a 48-yard pass completion both to Kenny Harrison and now to Paul Hofer as Bulls come up with some big plays in this game.
And there were 3 other big plays that we mentioned several times, Gary, that Freddie Solomon dropped. That could have been at least 2 or 3 touchdowns.
All right, the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central and Pacific. And look at what we've got coming your way. The NHRA World Finals from the Ontario Speedway. And that'll be followed then by the world's strongest men as they're going to have the wrist roll, the 7th event, 100-pound weight. They'll lift 10 feet off the ground. And that'll be followed in by all the outstanding poker players in the country getting together in Las Vegas. As next Saturday they have the Hold'em Final. And that's not a look at the big penalty makers in the NFL, but highlights of the 9th annual poker tournament from Las Vegas. Hold'em is a variation of 7-car stud and is especially popular in Texas and a fitting finale for one of the biggest poker tournaments in the world. And back to defend his title is Doyle, Texas Dolly Brunson. Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Bob Bell will now come in to replace Bob Pollard at defensive end as Pollard goes limping off the field. Bull thus far in this game has hit 7 of 17, 143 yards and 1 touchdown, and there's your time remaining in the game. 2nd down, 9. Scott Bull back to throw. He's got McAfee. And Carl Allen.
That time they sent Freddie Solomon in motion from the outside in. He went up the field and broke to the outside, and he was wide open. Scott Bull did not see him on the play.
And you can see Harrison coming back and talking to Bull. He spotted something. So it's 3rd down now. And 9 yards to go from the 37-yard line of St. Louis. Steve Niels on that last play put some pretty good pressure on Scott Bull.
Here he rolls again.
That's his best play of the day. Dawson's after him, and Dawson unloads on him. The pass intended over the middle to Ken McAfee, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Ken Stone back there defending. Mike Dawson shows very good quickness as he came racing after him and caught up with him.
He's really played outstanding football on the nose of that offensive center. Controlled that center very well most of the afternoon and has put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Boy, they're ready to kick the ball in a hurry. Connell's back there. Everybody's still getting back defensively. Still 8.5 minutes left in this game. Nobody back for the Cardinals. They haven't dropped anybody back. They're going to let the ball hit, evidently. Now they only have 7 seconds. Here's Connell. And that ball is going to die inside the 5-yard line, the 1-yard line. Bob Jerry is over there to down it. And Mike Connell did an outstanding job of putting that ball on the 1-yard line. There's Bob Jerry. He might be a real steal for this 49er team. That's a 36-yard kick, but more importantly was the placement on it. And they're going to mark it actually on the 2-yard line. And now the Cardinals have a tough situation.
It's very obvious that they've rehearsed that kind of a play where the coverage goes downfield and watch to make sure that they get the ball down inside the 2 or 3 yard line. They did a good job of executing the play.
Looked like a golf ball coming up on the green and getting that backspin on it. Hart to Otis, and Otis is close to the 5-yard line. A lot of time left in this game. 8:20. The Cardinals with a 6-point, 16-10 lead. Jimmy Webb made the stop along with Chuck Christ.
The fact that the St. Louis Cardinals are shifting their tight end from side to side creates a problem for the defensive line, and that time they almost got caught about the time the ball was snapped.
Just short of the 5-yard line, 2nd down, 7. Give again to Otis. Otis, good. 2nd effort, and I think Jim has been shaken up. He's going to be all right. He just took a shot. Boy, that guy is tough.
He is tough, and he fought through some traffic that time. He should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage, but got some extra yardage on just great effort. 2nd effort, Jim Otis.
He's going to have to come out of there, though. Steve Jones checks in for him. So it's a 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Baltimore hanging on to that lead against Seattle, 17-14.
Good time for a play-action pass here. Something to get the ball out of this traffic area. Let's see what they do.
Pike to throw from his own end zone. Good protection to Jones. And it's a 4th down. Steve Jones couldn't handle it at the 10-yard line.
I tell you, that was a great effort on the part of the San Francisco 49er defense. It was very important to hold them on this situation, and they did. There's a lot of time left, 7:07, and they should come away with good field position after this punt.
Well, Mike Wood, who's kicked very well, will have to do it again. The last time he kicked a 50-yarder. And now 3 men go back. Schumann, 84, is the middleman. Solomon to the bottom of the screen. And also Jack Steptoe is back there. A fine kick by Wood.
Beautiful kick.
Schumann at his own 47. And good reaction over there. Lee Nelson is the first to get there, and a flag has been thrown.
A late hit it looked like on the part of St. Louis. Let's see what they call.
You got to take your hat off to Mike Wood, who is a St. Louis native out of southeast Missouri State. He's kicked the ball under pressure extremely well. A 45-yard kick that time.
And into the wind that time, too. It was a beautiful kick, but there was a penalty on the play. A late hit, it looked like. Let's see what they call.
15 yards. And that'll move it to the 40-yard line.
Let's see if he rolls out or does something.
Personal foul, piling on, number 84, first down.
That's Dave Steve.
Here's the shot. He's on the ground, and Steve comes in on top, 84. Let's see if he rolls out or throws some kind of a play-action pass on first down.
Here's Scott Bull on first down. Complete to Bobby Farrell. And Farrell has the ball stripped loose. And I believe St. Louis has it. They do. The Cardinals have recovered.
St. Louis definitely has possession. He caught the ball. It was jarred loose.
Tim Carney's got it.
Yep.
Ken Green was the guy that hit him, and then Tim Carney came up with it.
Watch it. A play-action pass from the I formation. Makes the fake with his hand. Throws the ball out into the right flat. You see Dawson coming in, getting an angle. There you see Farrell making the catch. Loses the ball. And Carney recovers.
So from the 38, the Cardinals get a new line. 6:45 left in this game. Hart to Wayne Morris. And about 6 red shirts get a shot at him and eventually get him.
He still has to throw the ball some. He hasn't done that much at all. He hasn't had very good field position, but it's not bad here. And I still think he can throw in front of the defensive cornerback, Robertson, anytime he wants to, and especially on first down.
So his forward progress will go to the 36-yard line, where he lost actually a yard, maybe 2 on the play. Second down, let's make it 11 yards to go. They're bringing in a 5th defensive back as Jimmy Webb comes out of the forward wall. Gray, Tilley, the wide receivers. Cardinals got pretty conservative here in the second half.
Yes, they have. Here he comes.
Second down, 11. Hart to Gray. And Mel Gray makes a big catch, and he just won't go down. He weighs all of 170 pounds. They can't get him down.
And the other thing is, you know, they were fighting desperately to jar that ball loose, but he maintained possession of that in good shape, and the Cardinals have possession first and 10. Bob Jury made the tackle, number 26. But it was nothing more than a curl pattern inside. Good protection. Jim Hart throws it right on the money. He's in the open area. There were 5 defensive backs in the game. There you see Jury, number 26, tackling high, and the rest of the people trying to jar the ball loose. Danny Buns specifically, number 57.
You can see Hart has thrown the ball 35 times, most of that though in the first half. 21 of them. And there's a give to Otis to the 45-yard line. Joe Harris making the stop. So a pickup of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. And that was a big completion as the time, as you can see, starting to get down to a critical stage.
Yes, very definitely. And it becomes, you know, the time becomes an ally for the St. Louis team. And as a result, that was a very big play. Good reception by Mel Gray.
Jim Otis comes back out. Steve Jones is in the backfield with Wayne Morris. It has not been easy. It was 16-3, and all of a sudden, 49ers climbed within 6. Here's Steve Jones. And Jones to the 40-yard line. Dan Buns, the fine rookie middle linebacker, making the tackle. We have another overtime game today. Kansas City and San Diego. After regulation, all tied up 23-all. Earlier today, Washington in overtime won a game.
You know, it's amazing. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have won their last 5 games in San Diego, but San Diego has won their last 5 games in Kansas City. So it's really been a wild encounter between these two teams the last 5 years.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. Mel Gray goes in motion. Hart's going to throw. Here's Gray. Mel Gray. He went in motion, circled clear back over. He ran a long ways on that play.
Yes, he did, and he had a chance to make the catch. He ran right away from the defensive back, but it was just a little bit too low. Play action pass on short yardage. There he's got plenty of time. Throws into the post to Mel Gray. Eddie Lewis is in pursuit, but he has to reach out a little bit too far, and it's a little low, and as a result, he couldn't hang on to the football.
So it's a 4th down, and Ward will have to kick. 49ers still have time remaining, 4:27.
That was a good call. You know, during the course of the game, you're in a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, about just 3 times in the game, and it's good to take advantage of that situation for the big play.
Wood hits it, and they're going to have good field position as the Cardinals covered very well. The ball will be about the 10-yard line. So, 90 yards away, San Francisco trailing by 6.
Down in Texas, we have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. So when you see this little Black & Decker 5.5-inch circular saw in your store, don't be fooled. It's smaller and lighter than other saws, so you can handle it easily. But inside, it's pure teeth. The 5.5er from Black & Decker. Small, light, and very tough.
Alcoa can't wait.
Keeping our country beautiful and saving energy. 2 good reasons why Alcoa supports aluminum can collections. Recycling saves 95% of the energy needed to make new metal from bauxite. Today, 1 out of 4 aluminum cans is recycled and used again. Tomorrow, maybe 1 out of 3. Someday, maybe every one of them.
We can't wait. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Well, you can see the wind, and you can see the rain that continues to fall here in Candlestick Park. The 49ers have the ball at their own 10-yard line. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left. The 49ers still with a chance because the Cardinals missed that point after attempt early in the game, which left the door open for San Francisco, who trails by 6. Kenny Harrison, Freddie Solomon, the wide receivers. Scott Bull has done a very creditable job at quarterback. He's going deep to Kenny Harrison. Carl Allen. Allen up the batted down. That play took a long time to develop.
It's hard to keep it up there that long and not have a defensive back respond to the ball as it was in flight like it was. It was up there a long time, almost like a punt.
Mike Dawson came through and dumped Scott Bull just about the time he released the football. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line. Okay, that Carl Allen, he had one of those earlier he misjudged, and that one wasn't far from getting over his head. Allen, like Robertson, has really had a busy afternoon as both teams have gone right at those respective corners.
See if he rolls out this time to his right.
He's got McAfee, and the big tight end shows some good hands on that play. First down to the 32-yard line. Ken Stone made the tackle.
That time they doubled the outside receivers. He threw this one from the pocket. You see Dawson spinning off the block. And he throws the ball right down the middle to Ken McAfee. And he's a big bruising tight end, and he's got excellent hands.
That's his second catch. There's a final Baltimore over Seattle, 17-14. Scott Bull. This is McAfee again. And all of a sudden, the big tight end has become a primary target.
He made a good adjustment on that. Now he rolled out to the right, and the tight end has been going out to the right. That time, instead of going to the right, he curled into the inside away from the traffic. They overran his position, and as a result, he was wide open in the middle. There you see Scott Bull reading it well. McAfee making a leaping catch, and good for another first down. A beautiful play by Ken McAfee, the rookie tight end from the University of Notre Dame.
Ken Green made the stop. It's another first down to the 46, and the 49ers with 2:55. Coming up next, Dallas, Green Bay. We'll shift there immediately following the conclusion of this one. Bull back. Broke it up. Mike Dawson. Dawson up and batting it down. Well, you know, there was a big game between Green Bay and Dallas today. And I think this is going to surprise a lot of people. Dallas leading in that game 42-7 over Green Bay. The Packers went in there with a 7-3 record. So from the 46-yard line, 2nd and 10. 2:43, still a lot of time, and Scott Bull has shown the ability to come up with a big play today. There's his stats. That's the rollout that he likes. And he's hit hard. Boy, he really took a shot at the 50-yard line. Niels and Bell over there. That quarterback's fair game in those situations.
Yeah, but he's a gutsy quarterback. He's done a lot of. Watch this hit now. He jumps over the top, and he finally gets a shoulder right on the sideline. But he responds well. He's back, ready to go back in the ball game and gets another play.
I would
assume,
coaching
staff.
You know, Hank, I would assume this young man's earned another starting assignment. He has given him some hope, I would think, at that quarterback spot.
Oh, no question about it. And he played in the final game against us a couple of years ago, and we thought he was very impressive.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Bull is 10 of 24 in this game, 184 yards. And Steve Niels hits him. Steve Niels, the linebacker, came up, wrapped him up. Big play. And the loss will be back inside the 45-yard line.
That's the one way to stop the rollout, is to blitz the linebacker on the outside. That time Niels does blitz, and before he's ready to throw the ball, he gets to the quarterback and jars the ball loose and almost recovered it. But the 49ers now have to punt with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game.
That's the 6th sack of the afternoon for the Cardinals. As on 4th down and 13 yards to go, Connell will kick. 2:10 as we've approached the 2-minute warning. Fair catch called for by Harrell. Whoa. That one almost got away from him. And at the 24-yard line, the Cardinals have the football, and the 2-minute warning is being executed at Candlestick Park. So the Cardinals still protecting that 6-point lead, 16-10. We'll be back with the final 2 minutes in a moment.
Give me an Anheuser-Busch Natural Light.
Just say natural.
You see, you doesn't have to call it Anheuser-Busch Natural Light, and you doesn't have to call it Anheuser Natural, and you doesn't have to call it Busch Natural. Just say natural.
Johnson's right.
Oh, you can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me...
For a great tasting light beer, just say natural.
You doesn't have to call me Johnson.
2 naturals, please.
Don't ask him his name.
My name? You can call me Ray, or you can call me...
Announcing a whole new breed of Mustang for '79. The turbocharged Mustang from Ford. With the performance of an optional turbocharged engine that took Mustang from 0 to 50 in an average of 7.1 seconds. precise handling from sports car features, and more. Mustang Turbo in 3-door and 2-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
Well, that was a 33-yard kick that time by Connell. And at the 24-yard line, the Cardinals have it. Thanks to our spotter, Bob Coffey. Also our statistician, Joe DeLoach. And spotter Al Cusick for their fine help today on a cold, damp, rainy afternoon here at Candlestick Park. Pat Tilley and Dave Steep for the wide receivers of the Cardinals now with 1:58 with which to kill and to hang on to what would be their third win of the year, third in a row. Here's Otis. And Jim, who's had a tough time with the footing, couldn't go anywhere, and the 49ers are going to use a timeout. That would be their first, so they have 2 remaining. Been a kind of a tenacious football team, and they're hanging on to it right now, so we've got a timeout here with still 1:54 left to play.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
I quit soccer to play Atari.
You need more practice, Haley.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set. Don't just watch television tonight. Play it.
Coors. 105 years of only pure Rocky Mountain spring water. Make it yours. Make it Coors.
Second 11 for the Cardinals. You see the timeouts remaining. The 49ers using their first. Jim Hart going to throw on second down. He just got rid of that one. Nobody could clear on it. It looked like Ransom was his primary receiver, but he couldn't shake the coverage of Bob Jury.
Yeah, Jury was all over him like a piece of abalone.
Like a piece of abalone.
He really was. He had no chance to go upfield on that play.
You wouldn't eat any of that abalone last night.
No, it sticks to you. You can't swallow it.
Third down, 11. And a minute 47. So this issue has not been decided yet. If the Cardinals don't convert the first down, 49ers have some time. Third down, 11.
They got a blitz coming. Everybody coming.
Here's Gray. Oh, my. Mel can't hang on, and that's 2 of them very, very close for this fine wide receiver. And he's drawing a little attention now from the near sideline. 49ers, that's a tough place to land, right in the middle of the enemy camp.
That time they had a blitz. They had the right play. It was before. Beautiful kick.
Boy, what a job by this Mike Wood. From the 30-yard line, here comes Schumann. He's going to get out of bounds. Schumann hit by Ken Green, and I think Green's played as well as he's played all year long. Over there, and 1:30 left in this game, as you see it on your screen. And now from the 30-yard line, 70 yards away, the 49ers. The wind's picking up. The rain is falling with more intensity. After a 47-yard kick by Mike Wood, the 49ers have their work cut out for them. Next week, San Francisco meets the Rams. Next week, the Cardinals meet the Washington Redskins, and Hank and I will be there in RFK Stadium.
It's a good place for a draw play. I don't know what they'll do, but they'll be expecting a throw. No, he goes back and throws the ball.
There's Harrison, picked off. Lee Nelson. Lee Nelson to this first interception of the year. And Nelson tucks it away, and with it, a victory apparently for the Cardinals. Lee Nelson has had a tough time this year. He's had knee trouble. He has a lot of fluid on his knee with a big interception.
Scott Bull this time goes back into the pocket. He's been rolling out an awful lot. He throws from the pocket this time. He tries to throw inside, and it goes way over the top of the head of Kenny Harrison, number 83. And you see is intercepted there by Lee Nelson, number 38.
And so with now a minute 19 left, the Cardinals have the ball just across their own 48-yard line. Steve Philly, the wide receiver. Hart gives off to Steve Jones. Jones into the 49er into the field. And let's see, we're going to have another timeout called by the 49ers. They have one remaining. Dan Buns making the tackle. I believe there's a flag on the play.
There is one.
That was right around where the tackle was made, and it's going against San Francisco. Going to be 15 yards, probably unsportsmanlike conduct.
You know, one thing you have to say about this 49er team, they're much more impressive this time than the last time we saw them play. And I think Scott Bull has made a very good contribution to the offensive scheme of things and looked impressive in this game against the St. Louis Cardinals today.
And in all fairness to him, there were 3 big passes that were dropped that should have been caught.
Absolutely right.
So from the 34-yard line, a personal foul. Did not pick it up off of the microphone, but a 15-yarder. Did not turn the switch on. So Steve and Tilly come out again as a wide receiver.
They're going to run to the left. Looks like they might. Let's see.
There's a give to Jones again. And Jones pounding ahead, and the 49ers now will use their final timeout. So with a minute 7, it's just about all over right now. And this reminder, be sure now and join us on CBS for 60 minutes, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock Central and Mountain. If you're a collector of anything, it really will be a program of interest to you. And then the Word will follow that. David Jansen, a very popular performer, will be in an all-star cast in the premiere of Irving Wallace's The Word. And then Dallas follows the movie. And tonight, the Ewing women are really concerned about reports that Bobby and Junior are missing in a plane crash. 60 minutes, The Word and Dallas, all tonight on CBS. And speaking of Dallas, we'll have that coming up next. The Cowboys and the Packers from Milwaukee will be shifting there. Hope it's a little bit warmer, not as wet there as it is here. It's cold, I'm sure, though. However, a team that's hot as Dallas, as they are really rolling in that football game. Second down, 10 yards to go. A minute 7. The Cardinals with a 6-point lead. Now what's the problem? Hart spots something. I guess they have the wrong football in there. So they'll bring another one in. So the Cardinals winning here today would win 3 in a row. They would go against Washington, and they could really have something to say about that NFC Eastern Division because they still have the Giants and Eagles to play, as well as the Redskins.
Yeah, it's a long way from being over as far as the race is concerned.
Wait a minute. Joe Harris made a bone-jarring tackle. The ball is fumbled, but I believe the Cardinals got it. Boy, what a hit was put on that time. Let's look at this one again.
Watch the shot. Boy, he really gave him a hit that time with the shoulder pads in a perfect position. Great leverage.
Was it a quick whistle? I think the ball was dead. It looked like he was down.
Yeah, I think he was too. 50, Joe Harris blitzing on the play and really made a great hit. 3rd and 11.
There's your time remaining. 3rd down, 11. 49ers have no timeouts. Well, according to the scoreboard clock, they have 1 left. But we had them out of timeouts. And now they're going to take a delay of game call. The Cardinals using up the 30 seconds. And so they'll step off 5 yards back out to the 40-yard line. It is really raining now like it's serious about it. Delay a game. Couldn't quite pick that one up, but Gene Barth and his crew doing a fine job here today and under some less than ideal circumstances. This weather raining since we started the game. 3rd and 16. Give to Jones again. They're trying to strip the ball from him. And he stopped at the line of scrimmage, and now
they'll call the last timeout, I'm sure.
That's right. We had him earlier for one, but now that I think about it, that timeout was then followed by a penalty, so they did not use that timeout, and now they have used their third and final timeout. Tomorrow night, MASH airs 1 hour earlier than usual, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central and Mountain, followed by One Day at a Time. And then stay tuned for one of this season's major dramatic events. Irving Wallace's powerful bestseller, The Word, starring David Jansen, James Whitmore. The Word, Part 1 begins tonight. Part 2 tomorrow night, following MASH and One Day at a Time.
You know, Gary, this is the first time it's rained in San Francisco in 3 months.
Must be your fault. You brought it with you.
It had to rain because I didn't bring a coat.
That's right. Here's Wood kicking, and that ball is going to go dead at about the 15-yard line. So 16 seconds left. A last gasp effort now by the 49ers. Ken Green covering the ball. It's one of those plays you just hit them down the field and toss it up for grabs, right?
That's right. It's the only way you can survive it, and it happens so many times. It's just unbelievable.
Did you see the play earlier today?
Yes.
How New Orleans lost to Atlanta.
They threw it up for grabs, threw it up against the wall, and you hope if you throw it up there enough, something's going to stick. And that's what happened on that last play. And, of course, Atlanta won the game 20-17.
Solomon, Harrison, the wide receivers. Scott Ball throwing. He just got rid of that one. As Solomon covered by Carl Allen and Ken Green, and 11 ticks left on the clock. There's O'Connor giving the play to his wide receiver, Coach Bud Wilkinson, and he's 11 seconds away from his third straight win. Hasn't been easy, but it's sure nice winning. That salves a lot of wounds.
Yeah, I know, and nobody really fully understands how tough it is to win in this league. And Bud should feel mighty proud of the fact that they've come back and win 3 games in a row after losing 8 straight.
From the 15-yard line, 2nd and 10. This is Solomon, and he dropped yet another one. Boy, he has had some afternoon to forget about.
You know, the one thing about Solomon, you know, he's been trying to catch the ball in his arms rather than in his hands. He's done it on all 4 occasions, and on all 4 occasions, really has dropped the football. But he's not catching it with his hands at all. You see, I think he's desperately trying frantically to make the catch, and as a result, he's trying too hard and is not using his hands at all, but trying to use his body and his arms to make the catch, and hasn't succeeded in doing a good job.
He's got to be psyched out now.
Oh, it's tough when you have that kind of a day.
It's like a guy playing shortstop. He makes that error, and then the next ground ball, he gets to doubting himself.
Well, that's the one thing about being a pro. You can't worry about the last one you missed. You got to come back strong and catch the next one, and I'm sure that's been a problem with Freddie Solomon.
Well, this is probably the last play of this football game. Ball gets it off to McAfee. Well, we're going to have no time remaining. That's it. So it's all over from Candlestick Park. And there's Coach Bud Wilkinson, and he's happy, as they have won their 3rd straight game. They now move to 3-8 on the year, and next week they go to the nation's capital to meet the Washington Redskins, and they have lost to the Redskins 5 straight times, and I would imagine that'll be quite a football game. Well, our thanks to our producer, William C. Barnes, our director, Bob Dunphy, our associate producer, Wally Miller, and our manager of field operations, Brooks Graham. Jay Fairman, our technical director. Audio, Dick Oldacre and Mark Radulovich. Thank you, gentlemen, for your help here today. The St. Louis Cardinals defeating the San Francisco 49ers 16-10. This is Gary Bender saying so long for Hank Stram, where once again it was 16-10 St. Louis. Now let's go to Milwaukee's County Stadium for the conclusion of the Dallas Green Bay game.
Ahead and looking for more. Ball at the 25, Scott Laidlaw. Had a little collision with Danny White. Paul Rudzinski again made the tackle. Those of you who've been watching St. Louis and San Francisco and the Cardinal victory over the 49ers, welcome to Milwaukee County Stadium, where Dallas leads Green Bay 42-14 with 3:22 left to play. Pat Summerall return, Brookshire.
I think everybody thought it would be very close, or this could possibly have happened.
That is Larry Brinson, the ball carrier, number 36, that's herded backwards. Willie Buchanan led that charge. Robert Barber held out there. Just over 2 minutes left in overtime in San Diego. Kansas City has recovered a Charger fumble at its own 10-yard line with that score tied 23-23. Again in overtime. 60 minutes immediately following the game. Don't forget that. It'll be seen at its regular time on the West Coast. 7 o'clock.
The team, of course, is rather safer and Mike Wallace, right?
Good team. Third and 18. The Packer got back. Alois Blackwell. Robert Steele in a little slugging match on the far side of the field with Willie Buchanan. Flag goes down over there. Robert Steele claps his hands and like the penalty's going to be against Green Bay.
Well, Big Butler jumped across offsides and then got back, and just as he was trying to get back, they ran that draw inside of him, and he didn't have much control of his body at that time.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 28 defense, half the distance from goal line, first down.
Told you it was a secondary man, Willie Buchanan.
2:10 left to play, and Dallas with a first down. Ball at the 5. It'll be first and goal.
You know what? They always started with the biggest guy on the other team, too. Somebody's about 6'7", 280.
Not in this case. Robert Steele is rather frail looking. 6'4" and 196.
That's true. That might have been a pretty good square off.
At least he used good judgment. The guy he picked on. Lois Blackwell and Larry Brinson are the running backs, and that's Blackwell. Good second effort. He gets down to about the 3. Steve Luke led the defense.
That's something we're talking about, 196 pounds. Rocky Marciano never weighed 190 when he was champion. We forget how big these people are today.
Sometimes you do, don't you? They say Robert Steele has the best hands on the team, and he doesn't even play.
Give me an Anheuser-Busch Natural Light.
Just say natural.
You see, you doesn't have to call it Anheuser-Busch Natural Light, and you doesn't have to call it Anheuser Natural, and you doesn't have to call it Busch Natural. Just say natural.
Johnson's right.
Oh, you can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can
For
call
a great tasting light beer, just say natural.
But you doesn't have to call me Johnson.
2 naturals, please.
Please don't ask him his name.
Name? You can call me Ray, or you can call me...
Announcing a whole new breed of Mustang for '79. The turbocharged Mustang from Ford. With the performance of an optional turbocharged engine that took Mustang from 0 to 50 in an average of 7.1 seconds. Precise handling from sports car features and more. Mustang Turbo in 3-door and 2-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
Second and goal at the 5 for Dallas. The Cowboys already lead 42-14. They entertain New Orleans next week.
Just looking through the glass, Gary Knaufel, a former Packer receiver, is working in the booth next to us, and we played against one another here in 1958. Now that's a long time ago.
20 years.
It was a great offensive game. I think it was like 3-2 or something like that. Hank Aaron was then playing the outfield up here.
Reasonably good. At the 5, it's second down as Brinson shifts back. He'll block for Blackwell. Lois gets down to about the 3. Terry Jones, number 63, was the first. Here's the Cowboys get a chance to look at some of their reserves. Andy Frederick is one tackle. They're still shuttling guards, Rafferty and Burton Wallace. Donovan is still playing.
Is this the most points the Cowboys have scored for a while?
Tom Randall is one of the offensive guards. I think it is. Steele in motion, and Brinson stayed ahead. He will not get in. Rudzinski. These programs will be seen in their entirety this evening. 60 minutes whenever this game is over, followed by The Word and then by Dallas. And on the West Coast again, you'll see all in their entirety, beginning at the regular time on the Pacific Coast at 7 o'clock. Bob Daly has been our very astute director today for this broadcast, and the producer, also very astute, Perry Smith.
It's the all-time Dallas rushing record for a game. Used to be 286.
They do not make the touchdown. The Packers stop them, led by Terry Jones. And Green Bay will take over. 26 seconds left. The Dallas record will be improved to 7-4. And they'll still be a game behind the Washington Redskins. Minnesota has already won today. And they will be tied with the Packers at 7-4.
315 yards rushing and 234 yards passing. That's an offensive afternoon.
That's a final score. They won it in overtime. The Redskins did. Detroit, a good offensive day, beat Tampa Bay. Philadelphia 17-9 over the New York Jets. The Eagles aren't out of it yet. Bobby Douglas running around in the end zone being chased by David Stalls and Randy White. And herded out of bounds. 18 seconds left to play. Most points the Cowboys have ever scored are what?
Well, they had 59 points once against Detroit. Most yardage they ever had before was against Philadelphia. I was probably played.
These are all final scores again. Minnesota 17-14 over Chicago. 8 straight losses for the Bears. Atlanta 20, New Orleans 17. Tell you a little bit more about that game in a minute. Baltimore beat Seattle 17-14. Our information is that New Orleans was ahead 17-6 with only a minute to play. And Atlanta won. James Lofton, the intended receiver. The clock stops with 12 seconds to play.
I'll tell you, Atlanta's defense is never the same thing twice. They come at you from the bench and everywhere.
Oh, boy. With what looks like 15 men instead of just 11.
I think Lehman Bennett's done a great job down there.
Oh, yeah. Douglas. McGeorge. Stopped by Guy Brown. Mike Hegman. And the Packers take a timeout with 1 second to go. One more play as the Pack calls a timeout.
McGeorge is the leading receiver. The tight end has 3 catches for 30 yards. Lofton has been shut out. Andre Thompson has 1, and Odom has 1, the touchdown pass.
So they've completed just 5 passes. The Packers.
5 of 25.
A good defensive day for Dallas. They've shut down Middleton with 9 carries for 29 yards. Marty Smith, who's been averaging 5 yards plus for the last 4 games, had 3 carries for 6 yards. Hargrave, 19 yards and 4 carries.
That is defense, huh?
At its best. This will be the last play. Boston caught a pass on the last play of the game. Tom Landry and Bart Starr, by the way, Dan Fouts has passed to John Jefferson, and San Diego has won that contest 29-23 on the last play in overtime. Dallas 42, Green Bay 14. Don't forget, tonight on CBS, these programs will be seen in their entirety. 60 minutes, The Word with David Jansen, followed by Dallas. Regular time on the West Coast. Pat Summerall saying so long from Milwaukee's County Stadium for Tom Brookshire. NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
This is CBS.